Hello, it's me, Dave, the London cabbie. Though I'm not in work today, because I'm en route. Gutted Ten Hag's gone. I like the fella, but really, I don't think we've got any complaints. Wish him well in the future, and if he comes back with another team, I'm sure he will, I'll be on my feet cheering him on. I wish Ruud well tonight, and I predict a scoreline of the famous Manchester United 2, Leicester City 1, only because they've got Jamie Vardy. One love, MUFC.
I reckon it'll be 4-2 and Bruno Fernandes score the first goal. Up the Reds, up the Stretford Paddock.
Jay here, just having a quick scrum before I go to the game. My score prediction is... I can't remember what I said. I think I said on the preview that United win on penalties. 3-3 United to win on penalties. So that's what I'm going with. I'm sticking with that.
Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe and this is the watch-along for Manchester United versus Leicester in the Carabao Cup, taken by that man right there, Ruud van Nistelrooy, potentially, I almost said then, his only game in charge of Man United. But there's a lot to talk about and I'm joined by some absolutely staggering guests today. Ronaldo Brown is here, of course. How are you?
I'm doing really well. For the first time, I just thought, do you know what it is? It's the excitement. It's got me a little bit flustered. Not really excitement, just actually being the first time in a long time where I'm not dreading a United game.
Yeah.
There's always that sense of nervousness or wondering if we're going to win or not. But I think for a long time now, I've just gone into United games with little to no hope or that sense of dread. Crikey. And I think that's been lifted slightly today.
We're also joined once again by Tom Cooney of YouTube fame, of all kinds of fame, really.
Things, yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good to be back on. When I texted you and asked you if you wanted to come on, Ten Hag was still Manchester United's manager.
Yes.
I think it was the day he got sacked, actually, wasn't it?
It was about an hour before, and we both were saying...
Yeah, because you texted back saying, what do you think of Ten Hag? And then before I'd replied, because everything was popping off, you just said, I guess that answers that then. Or what, something to that effect. Yeah, so we'll get into all of that. But first of all, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Well, it's good to hear it. And over in the corner as well, we've got Ten Hag's best mate, who must be gutted right now. We've got Scotty as well. How are you, Scotty?
Devastated.
Are you devastated?
I am. Obviously, as you know, for the past 12 months, I've been a Ten Hag doubter, putting it lightly. Not surprised. I don't think anybody was, really.
No. I think the day that it happened was a little bit surprising, because it felt like he would get till the international break. But the fact that he got sacked, it wasn't a huge shock, was it?
No, not at all. And I think it's been on the cards as well. I think they were just waiting for any excuse to basically deliver his P45, and it was the West Ham game that did that. Just the sort of speed that this new manager seems to be coming in within a week. It's not something you could do on a phone call. We're getting rid of one who can phone in Portugal. We're getting straight over.
Well, I think it was maybe something to do with the fact that minimum wage is going up and they didn't want to pay that new threshold. I don't know if that was to do with it, whether they saw it coming, but let's just say it's not a coincidence. Thank you to everyone who sent in your pre-match predictions, including Jay Motti, by the way, who every single week on the preview says, film yourself in landscape, and then went on to film himself in portrait, which isn't particularly great for YouTube, but thank you, obviously, to Jay anyway for sending that in. Very good stuff. Let's just start and build our way through the week, because there's a lot to talk about. We've spoken about a bit of it, Ronnie, on the podcast on Monday, but even then, we didn't know who was going to succeed Erik Ten Hag. It looks like now we do. Let's just start with Ruben Amorim, first things first, and we'll kind of work our way through all of this. Not just the front runner, it looks almost certain that he's going to be the United manager. It's just a matter of when and not if, unless something crazy happens. What do you make of him as a manager? What do you make of the way that Ineos have conducted this search? And are you excited for what's coming in the next few days and weeks?
The way Ineos have conducted this search have made it seem like they have been eyeing Amorim for probably, a week or so, or they've been at the very least setting up contingency plans. That was probably stemming from the meeting that they had the other day in London,
Maybe. Because
of how things were going, because the way that they've sacked him and then they've almost parcelled up the Amorim to United deal. It seems a little bit quick, but it seems very efficient and very fast, which makes it seem like there's something that was already in the works previously. But as for Amorim himself, I'm excited. I think there always will be that natural bit of excitement, because you feel like you'll be able to see something fresh, something new, because I think United have become very, very stale over the past 14 months, not just in the results, not just in the performances, but even just a lack of goals and just a lack of general feel-good factor around the club. So hopefully that will change and that will be reflected in the results. So if Amorim does come in, at the same time you do have to proceed with a little bit of caution. I think there will be some blips along the way, maybe even early, because Amorim's coming into a situation where he didn't get a pre-season, which I think he should have had, or he didn't get a 2-week period over the international break to kind of embed his style, his philosophy.
He
his
could
system.
still well get that though.
Maybe
it's only a couple of weeks till then.
Maybe.
He's not here yet.
And obviously he does play fit at the back, so people are making a little bit of a song and dance about that. So it'll be interesting to see how that materialises. But by all accounts that have come out of Portugal, is that he's a very good manager. He's up and coming, and he has a lot of positives about him. Almost very much the same way that Ten Hag did.
He's basically
two and a half years ago, because
except he hasn't won 3 league titles in a row, and he's got a worse win percentage. But obviously they aren't just the same. But in terms of reputation coming in, it's of a similar ilk, taking a slightly fallen giant. I know it'd been a lot longer Sporting, 19 years I think since they'd won it, and Ajax was only 6.
Yeah, he'd argued it's a bit more of a competitive league in terms of not from bottom to top, but in terms of at the top, in terms of displacing
there's 3 big
Benfica and Porto and how good they actually have been. Obviously, they've been fairly decent in Europe as well, but there are similarities. So you just have to see how it unfolds, because when you're taking managers from the Eredivisie, as we did with Ten Hag, where the general strength in depth for the league isn't as much, it's quite similar in Portugal. So there are quite a lot of similarities, to be fair. You just got to hope that it actually works this time. Me, I'm someone that's going to be positive about this change and his refresh, because I wanted it. And hoping it, I really do hope it works, and Amorim is the guy, and I'm confident and positive about that. But you still have to have that element of wait and see, and let's see what happens.
Tom, what do you make of? We'll get into the teams. Obviously, it's on there in a sec. We'll get into that in a sec. Do you know much about Ruben Amorim? Have you looked into him since we've decided to sort of bring him in?
To be honest,
what are your thoughts? Okay.
Obviously, only from what I've times I've watched Porto in. Sporting Lisbon.
If Porto were playing Sporting, you would have seen it
in a Champions League, Europa League, etc. You see the reputation of the guy. He's a bit like Ten Hag. He's a young coach who's over the last few years has been very successful. He's been linked with other big jobs. There's talk of City eyeing him up, and possibly that's something to do with
which they immediately denied as soon as he's been linked with City for months, and then all of a sudden we want him. He's like, we never wanted him. He's crap anyway. He's rubbish. We'll get someone better.
Typical.
And he was a name in the summer, wasn't he, with Liverpool? And for whatever reason, it didn't feel like the time he was going to leave. Yeah. But I think looking at the way we've dealt, in the past with sacking managers mid-season, I think there is that feeling that it's going to be an interim. It's difficult to get managers in mid-season, but I think that's also a bit of a decaying of the standards, because if the job becomes available and Man United want a new manager, they really should be able to go out to whether it's an Ajax or Sporting Lisbon and get their man straight away. So I'm happy it's been dealt with quickly.
And I do think it's weird, because you say that, and I feel like United were getting stick for not being able to get a manager quickly, but we have. Yeah. Like this always seems to happen where people are like, I remember when we were linked with Pogba, you're not getting Pogba, United aren't going to get the best player. Okay, we got him, right, fair enough. He's not that good anyway, whatever. You're not going to get Varane. Why would you leave Real Madrid to come to Man United? United don't sign players like that. Oh, we've got him. You're not getting Ronaldo. He wouldn't go to Man United now. United aren't good enough. We've got him. Like, United do still have a drawing power, and we tend to flex it pretty often.
It's wishful thinking on other people's behalf.
Yeah, people are always like, oh, United are never going to sign someone like that. Well, we do. Yeah. And we continue to do that. I know we've not gone for big names in the last sort of 18 months, but I think that's a change in style rather than a lack of ability. Like De Ligt was another one. Why would you leave Bayern to come to United? Well, he has.
But then the moment he signed, he's hopeless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Scotty, in terms of Ten Hag and Amorim and this whole situation, I know we sort of touched on it before, but what do you make of the way Ineos have conducted this?
I think it's hopefully indicative about how they want to run the football club going forward. I think a lot of us had a lot of praise about how proactive they were in the transfer window in the summer, whilst critical about doing the whole interviewing managers on the eve of the FA Cup final. I thought that was in bad taste. But I think if this was under Woodward's tenureship, you wouldn't have thought that we would be buying managers out of their contract. That doesn't seem like something that United would do. But now we've identified someone, we won't go and get him, and we're not waiting 8 months until the transfer window to sort of get a manager in the summer and write a season off. For my money on Ten Hag, it had to be done, and it should have been done in the summer or earlier in my decision. But new start. I don't know much about him, but one difference between him and Ten Hag would be the sort of charisma that he puts across in press interviews. He just seems that he's probably got more of a personality that might, get through to the players, which I think might have been a bit of a stickler for Ten Hag.
Yeah, he needs to. I mean, I said this yesterday, but it's weird that Ajax's players didn't mind that Ten Hag wasn't massively charismatic. They were willing to put the effort in and do their best. And, I'm not blaming the players completely, and the manager has to step up to the new role. But Sporting's players have bought into what Amorim did. Ajax's players bought into what Ten Hag did. Chelsea's players bought into what Jose did. Bayern's players bought into what Van Gaal did. And yet, multiple different squads with no real through line except maybe Luke Shaw Man United players have failed to buy into what the manager really wants on a long-term basis.
And not just this manager.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's always about the buy-in.
It worries me. And that I just think United at some point, and this is what Ineos have to do, is change the sort of the feeling around the club and increase the standards of what it is to be a United player, not necessarily just in terms of results, but day to day in training, like how things are conducted around the club, where you don't get a choice as to whether you run hard or not, or whether you press hard in games. Because like we saw it under Rangnick, they pressed for 30 minutes and they thought, God, that hurts my lungs. I'm not doing that again. And let's just lose 6 of the last 8 games or whatever it was. Like I do think that players kind of go, I can't really be bothered to do this. We're not really winning that many games, and it hurts me to run hard, so I'll just not win and just jog instead. I do think that goes through players' minds at times. Let's go through this starting lineup then, and we've got it in a 4-4-2 here. That's because there have been some rumours that Van Nistelrooy wants it to be a 4-4-2. So here we go. We've got Bayindir in goal, Dalot, De Ligt, Lindelof, and Martinez as the back 4. Then we've got Casemiro, Ugarte. I've done that weird starting in the middle. Rashford and Garnacho as a midfield 4, and then up front Xerxes and Fernandes. I can only assume Fernandes will drop in a little bit just because of that's how he tends to play. Ronnie, what do you make of that line-up in terms of personnel and in terms of a bit of switching formation as well?
I was going to say, how sure are we that is a 4-4-2?
How sure are we that that's a 4-4-2?
Because
we're not.
Because
we've made it up.
Everyone's basically pronounced that or proclaimed that it was a 4-4-2, but when one of the two is Bruno Fernandes, who could just easily play in the 10 as normal, and it could just be Xerxes up front. So I'm not sure. Maybe some people have some insider knowledge that he's actually playing up front alongside him, but I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, how do we know it's just not the same system that was played previously, or if it's just a standard 4-3-3 with Bruno a little bit deeper? But I would have liked to have seen Rashford back on the left where he's best, and Ahmad coming on the right for something a little bit different. The midfield pairing, I haven't got too much to say negatively about
no
that.
Eriksen even on the bench.
No Eriksen on the bench.
No,
I think Ugarte and Casemiro's fine.
No first team centre midfielders on the bench at all.
Yeah, that's concerning. You've obviously got Jay Fitzgerald, who I'm familiar with on the bench. Lindelof.
Presumably that's Jack Fletcher.
Lindelof centre half is a bit of a strange one. I would have rather Evans play there or just Mazraoui play as normal. Mazraoui's basically had no rest at all, and he's recently had a bit of a heart. Did he have a bit of heart treatment?
It's something he has regularly, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think that's maybe. I think Lindelof starting might just be a question of rotation, really, maybe, rather than it just being someone that's being dropped. But after his defending, especially against Fenerbahce, I'm not sure about him starting. But other than that, the lineup's pretty okay to me.
Yeah,
Bayindir in that, obviously.
It's hard to read too much into it, isn't it? When it's already it looks like it's going to be one game for Van Nistelrooy. Yeah, and really it's just a case of how they respond to it with the news coming through last couple of days. Does the weight come off a little bit?
You think it must do a bit, because they've definitely lost that kind of like mounting pressure that my God, the manager's going to get sacked. Oh, we didn't win again. Oh my God, we've missed loads of chances.
Because they obviously feel that, don't they? The players.
They're still humans. Yeah. They probably feel it more than like we put it on them. Like it's, if you're in that position, basketball players can shoot 3-point shots in training and maybe get 9 out of 10 in. No one in the history of basketball has got better than 1 in 2 in games. So it's like there's a massive difference between pressure and no pressure. Like if you're
1 in 2, do you mean?
Well, not even that. What's the best ever 3-point shooter? Steph Curry. What's his record? Like 43% or something.
For a season, or in a game?
No, 3-point shooting throughout his career. What is his record?
It's around 42-43%. Yeah, that makes sense. No one's anywhere near 50. Yeah,
right. And yet in practice he can probably hit 8 or 9 out of 10. I've seen him hit 70 in a row.
That's true.
So footballers feel the pressure the same way. Dalot doesn't miss that open net in training ever.
Probably not.
Like, or maybe 1 in 20, and maybe Dalot's not quite.
Some
the best
people will
example.
question whether Dalot was some sort of double agent for that.
Yeah, I literally
Do you know what I
saw
mean?
people doing that.
Ten Hag
on
must
Twitter.
hate him.
But like, you know what I mean? So the pressure obviously affects players like it affects everyone else in every sport, in every walk of life. I do expect you, Scotty, to see not necessarily a new manager bounce, but a sort of alleviation of pressure bounce.
Yeah, it feels like a free hit tonight. I think obviously with Van Nistelrooy, it's going to be a one-off game for him and an honour for him to be in charge of United at Old Trafford in a cup game. But a lot of the players will have a massive sense of relief, and they can go out maybe and express themselves in a way that they weren't able to under Ten Hag, because for large parts to play the sort of system that they were playing into, you can even call it that, it just looked very confused, and the players seemed to be a bit muddied in what they were doing. Some were pressing, some weren't. It was like, I don't know, constipated football for want of a better metaphor.
Yeah, there's got to be some difference, hasn't there? Do you think we'll see that?
Well, I think to come back to, we chatted before about the decision in the summer, with the way it was all done, Ten Hag's gone into this season needing a miracle, really, needing to produce something that we've not seen before. Otherwise, very quickly, it was going to become this, oh God, have we made a mistake? And every game has felt like he's one game away. And I know that's not on the players, it's ultimately Ten Hag that's going to lose his job. But that backdrop to every game, I think it's just been a bit stifling. And as much as I've tried to give him the benefit of the doubt at times, I'm the same. I've not gone into games looking forward to watching them play for a long time, just expecting that it's going to be a drab game of football. So you would think that, you know, for how long this has gone on for, they're only human. Tonight, you know, it's the cup as well. It's the Carabao Cup. You know, it's just let loose a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that. Let's have a look at Leicester's team as well, then, because obviously United playing Premier League opposition. We've got Ward, Justin, Cody, Akoli, Thomas, El Kanous, Skip, Sumare, Makatia, De Cordova, Reed, and Ayew as well. No Vardy in the squad. Is he injured?
Maybe just getting rested.
Yeah, he's not on the pitch or on the bench.
Have you not heard, like, people heard for Vardy for large parts of the recent part of his career, he barely trains as well.
Really?
Like,
Just
how old is he now? Is he?
Yeah,
36.
I think because Vardy went through a period where he was getting a lot of recurrent hamstring injuries, because he's always been a very quick and powerful player, and a lot of his game was contingent on that. And then obviously as he's gotten older, obviously that started to wane a bit, and then he started to get all these injuries. And apparently when Leicester were last in the Premier League, or for as long as I can think of, he barely trains in a week. He might train once or twice. They don't ask him to train any more than that, and then he starts on a weekend.
But he's got that body type as well, though, where
they
couldn't
manage him.
Get fat if he wanted to. I think he's. Do you know what I mean? He's not like a Wayne Rooney or a Luke Shaw, who's maybe holds a bit more weight naturally.
He gets managed. I think the thing is, some players that are very important to their side, or a bit of a talisman, and they have injury issues or they have ailments, they might get an extra 1 or 2 days off, or they might be doing recovery when the rest are training, maybe one of the days, just like they're fit and primed for the weekend.
That's I think in the week, about United. With
I don't think
players,
we do that for anyone. Yeah,
it was around the fact that he would use training as a, after a poor result, there'd be more training, and you're always hearing that people are leaking things, but some of the senior players felt that actually they needed to be training less to be managed, but they were treated the same as the younger players. I don't know how true that is.
It's like Aguero had a period apparently like I was told at City he wouldn't train as much as the others just because to manage him a little bit.
You earn it, don't you?
Yeah, but you earn it when you're the calibre for the team as like an Aguero or a Vardy.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because
if they're performing on weekends, do you know what I mean?
Do you know you have these sort of older heads of Ferdinand and Keane and Scholes and all that, and not Keane for the player I'm about to mention, but Ferdinand, Scholes, these people who come out and talk about the standards in training under Ferguson and the standards in that squad, and that everyone had to be on it every day, and that's what it was. And then you'll hear other stories where they've spoken about Carlos Tevez saying he just didn't try at all in training, he couldn't be bothered. He'd turn up, he'd jog about, he'd walk around, but then he'd do it on a Saturday. So it's weird that on one hand, these training sessions were sort of famously hard and everyone was putting it in like it was on the pitch, and then on the other hand you've got players like Tevez not doing that, and that was okay. And yet if a rumour comes out about Rashford or Sancho, whatever, not training very well, everyone absolutely piles on him. But we had some players who were top players in one of the best teams we've ever had supposedly not training very well, and the likes of Ferdinand and Scholes accepted it. I never quite get that. I'd like to
accepted
ask them
it because they performed on a weekend.
Well, they did.
If they didn't perform on a weekend, they wouldn't accept it, and the club actually wouldn't afford them to have these kind of.
I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, though, isn't it? It's all these stories on podcasts, and it's a world of extremes. Like, I'm sure there were moments where training did get really intense, and you talk about when new people join the team and how everyone's kind of watching what they're doing and
putting an extra hard tackle in.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's where the manager comes into play, though, isn't it? Because obviously players aren't robots, and you have to sort of micromanage each personality to their strengths. And you're saying if Aguero's going to bang him in at the weekend or Tevez, then you allow that, and you speak to the rest of the players, saying if he's not pulling his weight on the 90 minutes at the weekend, then we'll make him train during the week. But look what he's doing. Berbatov, I think, was famously for it. He might as well have been walking around with a cigar and a panini, during the week. But he turned up, didn't look like he was doing anything on the pitch.
No.
But then scores loads of goals against Blackburn. So you earn it. I think that's what you said before.
Yeah, I think it must be that, because I've just Googled. I've forgotten the coach's name, but the Bulls in the 90s, this like absolute machine of a team. Michael Jordan won't let. He's like horrible to everyone. He won't let anyone hold up and let up. And then all of a sudden you've got what's his name? The guy who's big friends with
Rodman.
Yeah, Rodman going off to Vegas. Doing what he wants, going to Vegas before big games, and yet he played and he was accepted. Yeah. But it's all this thing in it. Like I said, if you turn up, if you win matches, you can kind of do what you want. If you're a manager and your team wins trophies, you can kind of do what you want. Like, that's really what it boils down to. And people want to manufacture these arenas of absolute professionalism and competition. And yet actually it turns out in all of these incredible squads there were some people who weren't doing 100% every single day, but it doesn't matter, because if you're winning games, that's fine.
I think it shows how mental it is.
Yeah,
I think people want to analyse it to the point where you can there's a bigger percentage of it that is down to planning and organisation and philosophy, but so much of it is up here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think we overstate it sometimes.
Yeah, and you can't, because there's not a stat to show that.
Yeah.
So people want to ignore it, but really, all of that stuff goes into it just as much as the technical detail.
Okay, well, another thing that obviously this is probably moving on to a different point, but I was going to ask you about tonight and with Ruud van Nistelrooy and it being the first game post Ten Hag era.
Did you say era or error then?
Error as in actual error.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously there's a lot of narratives flying about. There's a lot of fans that are actually not happy with the fact that Ten Hag was dismissed.
Have you seen a lot of that?
Yes, I have.
Really?
United more than most, as fans, do get this a little bit of an affinity of whoever the manager is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think there's the very anti-player, saying it's the player's fault. I'm talking about the players of through the manager under the bus crowd.
I think they want the manager to go through that Fergie journey of struggling to turn it around, being backed when probably he shouldn't have done, us against the world kind of thing, and then he turns it around and he's the second coming.
Because I've defended Ten Hag a lot, and I would have given him more time personally, but I'm not hugely offended or shocked that he's been sacked, because look at the results.
I was going to mention how these people are probably going to view the game tonight.
Right.
Whereas if United play really well and win, they're going to say, see, the players are trying now, and they weren't trying under Ten Hag, and you're going to see that being peddled. And then if we play poorly and lose tonight, they're going to be like, see, the players are bad, and it's not Ten Hag's fault. So they're just going to, people are going to see it how they want to see it tonight. But for me, I'm just trying to see my club play well and move forward. And over the past 14 months, it's just been nowhere near good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a few super chats. Sheik Game, who's been a member for 26 months, says, still don't know what to think about Ten Hag getting sacked, but let's get behind the team no matter the manager. Up the Paddock, thank you very much. There's a message before. Where is it now? I want to get it right because it is a good name. Someone said, is Joe going to take the piss out of my name again? But it is a good name. So I do want to bring it back up, but I can't find it now. Sorry. If you put it in before, it's something like, it's not, and I don't want to guess it. It's a very good name.
You can't just make it up now, innit?
I think the surname is Tato, like potato, and it's just brilliant. But I don't take the mick of it. I just enjoyed it. A little bit of an update on the Amorim situation. There's been a few different reports today from the Times and then from Record as well in Portugal that Amorim will remain the sporting manager until the international break, or that they want him to be there until
Is that a recent report?
That's from 4 hours ago and 2 hours ago, or 3 hours ago respectively. Do Do you think that's a fair thing for them to request? Would you be trying to get him in immediately? Do you think there's something to be said actually for getting that 2 weeks of international break training to just implement those initial few kind of bullet points of his style?
If you're on Sporting Lisbon side of things, they've had one of the best starts to a season ever in Portuguese football. I think they've scored like 30 and conceded 2, and they're absolutely flying. Basically, Amorim and Sporting were on the way to some sort of history the way that they've started this season. And out of nowhere, United have come in and basically took your manager off you. They probably want, or they probably feel like they need some sort of...
Just a moment.
Yeah,
just
compensation for that in terms of...
take stock a little bit. And
let us get our replacement set up. Let us wait a little bit. Because obviously if Amorim just leaves tomorrow, and so then they're kind of like... thinking who's going to manage, is it going to derail our season? There's a lot for them to think about. I know they're going to get a healthy pay package, and whether it be 17 or 20 million, so that's a level of compensation in itself, but they also want to think about the football and business side of things, and like we need to think about how we move forward in terms of, and have some time at least. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because it is a bit, we think it's abrupt, so imagine what Sporting think.
And also, this is off the back of, in April as well, for anyone who'd forgotten about this or didn't see it at the time, there was this whole saga with West Ham and Ruben Amorim. They wanted him, and he held talks with West Ham in April, in London in April, and then basically came out and apologised publicly for holding these talks. And he said that it was disrespectful to speak to another club. He said what's important to say is that it was obviously a mistake. This is Amorim talking about these talks with West Ham. The trip was a mistake. The timing was completely misjudged, which I did not see at the time. It was misjudged. He apologised. He said, I gave the players an explanation. I also gave the staff an explanation, as I should have. But now it's time to continue going forward. Clearly, aside from all of that, publicly I ask forgiveness for the Sportingistas. I apologise to the staff. I also make first and foremost publicly to my players for the mistake. So it was a pretty sort of public and embarrassing flirting with another job from him this year already. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm a Sporting fan. I'm thinking one more season at least, and then 2 months or 3 months into the season he's going. I mean, I don't think it's particularly unfair for them to be like, can we at least have till the international break to replace this guy who only 6 months ago was begging on his knees for our forgiveness?
Well, I think it makes me think that he wasn't looking for anything, and West Ham have approached him, and maybe he's thought, well, I'll listen to what they've got to say, like some people do in work, but obviously realising that publicly it doesn't look like that in football. And I don't know, I think you've got to, for United, the sooner the better. And I hear where I understand obviously Sporting's perspective, but football can be quite ruthless, and you can't really control the timing of these things. And they've got to get, life after him is going to happen, whether it's today or in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think it might be a money thing?
What,
like saying just trying to shake the Sir Ratcliffe tree? I think if United go back and say we'll offer you 2-3 more million, then we'll have him at Old Trafford on Sunday. I can't see United wanting to hold out for a few more weeks. I think we need him if we want to try and salvage the season. We need him in the dugout against Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I just wonder if there's an issue of you want his start to be as smooth as possible as well, don't you? Because I'm not saying we will do, we very much could win that game. But if you draw that game against Chelsea and then, maybe you beat Leicester, or you draw the next one in the Europa League and he's got 3 points from his first 3 games, maybe already people start, is this the right thing to do? Whereas I think you have a better chance of winning straight off the bat if you give him a little bit of extra time. But again, maybe not. Maybe you just get that sort of bounce and he can teach the players what he wants during the season. I don't know. Like, what do you think? You've played at a higher level than any of us have. You know about like coaching and how long it takes to implement styles and stuff. Do you think he can do that in an international break, or is even that asking too much?
No, I think an international break would definitely be a lot easier than him coming in with 1 or 2 days to spare before you play one of your biggest rivals, which you only generally play once or twice a season. And obviously people do realise that the games against the likes of a Chelsea, a Villa, a Tottenham, a Liverpool, a City and Arsenal, they're the biggest ones, because they're an opportunity for you to gain points while take points and away from against the clubs that you're competing against. And I thought it'd be a tough ask to come in and just have 2 days of training to implement a system, a style, a philosophy, and kind of educate your players how they want to play, and for it to come to fruition on the weekend in such a big game. Is it possible? probably, but it'd be much easier if it was.
Is it possible, really? Is that possible?
Yeah, I think 2 days of intense training of probably set up information. You can get the basics down, because these footballers are actually they're sentient beings. They're not like robots. They do have an understanding of football enough where.
You're joking.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So
people like they don't know.
So like
I
think I think that you need to give players more credit. They'll be able to know or get the basics of where to be, even if it is a 3-5-2 and whatever it is. But
in terms of game, isn't it? That
yeah.
first game in 2 days, there's a lot will be relying on a bit of a bounce.
I think the international break that would be much better, because you can get like a 10-day period of almost getting it implemented. Depends how many players are off international break.
I never thought it'd be here for Chelsea anyway, to be honest. I know there's is Chelsea the last one? There's a game after, isn't there?
There's 2 games after. So United, so we've got Leicester now, then Chelsea, then PAOK the following Thursday or next week tomorrow, and then a week on Sunday it's Leicester again at
before
home in the
league.
International, and then you've got the 2 weeks before it's Ipswich away, Bodo Glimt, Everton, and then Arsenal. But even because
sometimes these things get agreed, and he won't start until after the Chelsea game, so he's got a full week.
You'll often see
he'll be in the stands maybe.
Just going to say that.
Yeah, you reckon
see that shot of a night game, manager in the stands with his coat on, and it cuts to him every 3 seconds
after every goal we concede.
Because the players know he's there watching. And you've got Van Nistelrooy being looking after the team, obviously on the touchline, but I don't know, that'd be my thought, sooner rather than later.
Do you not think just by it being somebody other than Ten Hag, that will have an impact?
Definitely.
On the players. Just that it might not be able to implement any sort of new tactics or strategy within 2 days. But if you looked at the sort of bounce when Solskjaer took over from Jose Mourinho, it wasn't so much that he went in with all these new ideas and how to play football. It was sort of relieving the handbrake of parking the bus all the time for the games. And it was the freedom of the players. Now, there's a lot of people out there, conspiracy theorists, saying why haven't such and such a player said thanks to Ten Hag or said goodbye to Ten Hag on social media. And I know Andy Mitten in the summer was talking after the FA Cup win that 5 players were sort of saying they were on the fence whether they were happy or sad if Ten Hag was to go. So there's certainly at least some of the team are going to be happy that he's gone. So you wonder what sort of bounce, just as a purely, I don't know, joie de vivre, I guess. Is that the French word?
I don't know, but I love it.
We'll go with that.
It probably is. I'm not doubting you. It's me I'm doubting there. Yeah, I'm sure it is. DB Cooper in the chat says something that needs to be in the equation is the pressure that at United compared to other clubs. These managers are human and all humans feel pressure. It's kind of what we spoke about with the players a minute ago, isn't it? But the manager's not immune from that either. And I do think that having certain people, and I think the reports were that Van Nistelrooy will probably leave when Amorim comes in.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a bit of an odd career move for him, hasn't it? Just being here for 3 months, the manager gets sacked having had no good results basically all season, and then you leave as well. I don't think it'll count against him too much, but yeah, it's been a bit odd. But I do think that having someone who knows the club when you come in can be helpful. Like, we've often done that before, haven't we? Like, giving Ten Hag sort of Steve McLaren almost. And
everyone's saying Ruud. Ruud didn't have a job when he came. You got to think about man like Rennie Hark. It was a full-on head coach for was it Go Ahead? Who was he?
Go Ahead Eagles.
Go Ahead Eagles, and he's left that to be a third coach for United, and he just gets binned after a few months, and now he's what? I don't know.
Staff full of first team managers, wasn't it, going into the season? Bizarre.
What does he think? I think it's worse for him than Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was literally a manager of another club. He's left, and now he's sacked in 3 months.
But he's been at Man United. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that'll help him.
Maybe down
the job centre. So shows your CV.
Interesting.
Do they get a payout as well?
Yeah, you'd assume definitely. Of course they will.
Got to, innit?
It's not the worst thing in the world, is it? We've got some more chats in the comments as well. The lame name says Onana out with a broken heart. Maybe. We haven't heard exactly what's wrong with Onana, but he's not playing. Can we do a keep or sell of all the players in the squad? That's something we may well do in up and coming weeks, or maybe closer to the transfer window. But that's another thing to worry about. Do you think that Amorim, I know all managers, first of all, want to sign players every window anyway, and always kind of want to have players in their own mould. But do you think we're going to need a complete sort of rebuild of this squad?
This is another thing why Ineos were probably had contingency plans in place, but were probably wanting to give Ten Hag as much time as possible until it just clearly looked untenable. Because what you've done is you've obviously had a transfer window opportunity at the start of the season to make this move and sack him. Obviously didn't see the manager they wanted, but I look back on it and think, couldn't they have just done the same thing they've done now and just paid Sporting Lisbon for Amorim? Because then you're able to go into the transfer market and kind of tailor your transfers towards that style. Because now what happens is Amorim comes in with players that may not fit his system or may not suit it, and then it's almost like you've got to start again when you go into the recruitment market in the windows, which is why I kind of obviously did that thing I tweeted earlier where I was looking at some of the players that we were linked that didn't seem to fit Ten Hag's system. It made me wonder whether Ineos were recruiting in a way of eyeing up potential managers going forward.
Well, I think
in terms of
there should be a bit of that, shouldn't there?
Yeah,
that's what I think. That's what was talked about with like Jason Wilcox coming in, and this idea that the club needs to have a philosophy that we can't be, in some sense that we can't be veering wildly from manager to manager, because that's just not conducive to moving seamlessly from one appointment to the other. So I look at some of the players that have come in the summer, and I don't feel like we've signed heavily for Ten Hag as maybe we have done in the season prior or a couple of seasons prior. I think when I look at the players that have come in, I think they make sense as club signings. Obviously, Ugarte's played under him before in his system.
That's almost like they bought all these Dutch players, and then all of a sudden there's this one Uruguayan guy who's never played under, and then we get a new manager in 6 weeks later who happens to have managed him.
But you're in Euro as well, we plays the three at the back, and now we've got it's a strong centre half that's going to be fit soon.
Yeah, I do think that was a big thing, wasn't it? Making Man United be a sort of a ship that doesn't divert course massively every 2 years. You have to do that if you want sustained success. You can't rely on a manager being there for 26 years like Sir Alex Ferguson was. It might even a successful manager might be there for 5, 6 years at best, really, and then you're going to have to change players. Players will often stay longer than that. That's like you have to accept that some of these players from the last manager are going to be here for the next one, and you can't go. The Jose Mourinho to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer flick can't ever happen again if you want to be successful, in a sustainable way.
This is why I almost feel like recruitment in summers have to almost be 75% club led or like sporting director led rather than managers. I think managers do need a little bit of input. Players that obviously suit their style, but I think the style has to be almost like synergised between the gaffer and the sporting directors, which hasn't often been the case, because that's the case when you at Liverpool, that's the case at City with Pep, and I know he's left now.
Do you think it's a
and you got Edu you got Edu and Arteta, whereas so that when you actually have a turnover in a manager, you've almost still got like a batch of players that all kind of have either versatile in style or can actually seamlessly match the following manager. Because you look at Amorim's coming into a little bit more of a disjointed squad now again, because obviously a lot of the transfers were tailored to Ten Hag during his tenure with the veto that he had, compared to like Arne Slot coming in with the team that he's taken over. He's taken over with Klopp's team, and then you've got Maresca that's come in with a team that was basically purely driven by the club signings as well. It's just here players and kind of deal with it, which has its own difficulties. So maybe United just need to get more towards that, and I'm hoping Ineos do kind of factor that in with their recruitment.
And also, if the club has got an idea of how they want to play, hopefully as well they won't veer wildly in terms of managers. That's something else to consider. It's not just the players. It's like, let's pick managers that actually make sense from one to the next, and we don't go for a manager that wants to park the bus and sit back like I know Conte scored goals as well, but a Jose or a Conte style. We're not going to be picking managers like that anymore. We'll continue to pick ones who want to play front foot, attacking, controlling football, like Ten Hag tried to do and it didn't really work, like Amorim does at Sporting. Like, we won't need to get all these new different players because the manager won't be desperate for a completely different squad either. I
wonder if that's quite normal now, isn't it, for the big clubs? Even I think Brighton have spoken about that, and I think Eddie Howe's having had some issues where Newcastle are trying to go that way a bit, and he's pushed back a little bit. I wonder if it's a bit different at smaller clubs. I say, at a different level, because I wonder if Ten Hag's come into Man United with an expectancy or a hope that he's going to get this level of control, which might have been okay at Ajax, but really we shouldn't have afforded him, because we've made some problems there for ourselves, and that he should definitely be involved, but there were signings that maybe we shouldn't have gone for, that we thought, okay, we'll go with the manager's choice, and maybe that was the wrong decision.
Potentially, the likes of maybe Anthony or
which I think
maybe Casemiro even.
Yeah, at Ajax though, he in terms of power, he had Overmars and Van der Sar,
but he was still a manager
above him that were kind of like very very good sporting directors, like boardroom setup that they had there.
Did it even come into the equation at Ajax? Maybe it was moving to United and thinking, I want to bring with me what was successful, and we should have stopped him a bit.
Ten Hag came and had a lot of power when that he did request, and it was afforded to him with the signings. Ineos came in, he wanted to slightly adjust that. It came to fruition in the negotiations contractually that they had, that Ten Hag's obviously pushed back on, and they almost met in the middle in a compromise with a 1 year extension, and not that 3 years we are actually fully backing you extension that Ten Hag would have wanted. But I'm not sitting here and saying that a manager shouldn't have any involvement in signings or have any input. He definitely should, but I still think the club needs to have like an aligned vision, which a lot of the big clubs or a lot of the clubs that are doing well do have, and they almost get a manager that suits that, or a coach that suits that very format, and then recruit that way, because it makes it a lot more seamless, especially if they have to get another manager in, because what happens is you've got a mismatch of profiles, you've got a disjointed squad, and then you get any managers that are completely different to each other, and it's almost like you've got to reset again and sign 5-6 players every time, and it's like
windows away
three transfer windows away.
Squad,
do you know what I mean? So
you do wonder if it's a generational thing as well with the sort of managers and how the game should be played. If you look at the difference between age, it's like 14 years between Ten Hag and Amorim, and like this old like. You coming into as a football manager now, you expect to be sporting director to tell you who you sign, or you're going to have to sort of run a lot more stuff past your board. Whereas in the past, or like in smaller clubs, managers used to go in and say like, I want X, Y, and Z, and they're going to play for me because I know how to do that. Like Jose Mourinho wouldn't, I can't imagine, sit under a board who was saying you're signing him, and that was sort of the reason it didn't work at United, because he was made to buy players that he didn't want, or wasn't allowed to buy players that he did want.
Yeah, I do. That is definitely something that is more and more common, isn't it? And the coaches also, because coaching is so much more tactically driven and like detail driven than it ever used to be, in classroom based, and some coaches they'll be basically doing lessons like you're at school kind of thing to teach people stuff. Like you don't always have time to be the manager and the sporting director and the PR guy and all the stuff that Sir Alex did as well. You can't really do all of that and keep up with modern football. I think that you have to accept a little bit of, you haven't got the time to do all these things anymore, certainly to a high level. What do you think? Yeah,
I do agree. It's obviously you have this pressure. It's become a lot more like strategy and almost chess-like. People are saying Pep's killed the game. That kind of notion gets peddled a lot.
Yes.
So I think it just makes it even more important. Isn't that what Ineos have said with obviously Jason Wilcox coming in, that they want this? They almost don't want a manager now. They want coaches now. Yeah. These clubs, because they want it almost a technical director and a sporting director kind of dictate what they envision for the club from a stylistic standpoint, and you want a coach that fits that and then can implement it on the pitch. And maybe that's what needs to be the route that we take, because that's what a lot of the other clubs have taken. And I've said big clubs, but that's even happened. You said Newcastle had slight clashes with Eddie Howe and above.
He was obsessed with getting Mark Gay.
Yeah, I know. But Brighton's another good example of that. They're probably one of the best run clubs in not even just in the country but in Europe at the minute. And it seems like they might have hit again with the new manager Herzler. And it seems like when they've had Brighton have had a turnover of 3 managers whilst doing well in the last few years, and every manager seems to have done better and better or done well, and it's because they've recruited so well and they have that kind of synergy between the manager and the technical director and the sporting director, and they're still doing it whilst having a turnover of board members as well.
Not just that, a turnover of players, a turnover of managers, a turnover. It's mad how well they're doing all that stuff. Anthony Martial scored his first goal tonight for AEK Athens, for anyone's interested. Look at him. Look at the passion there. He's loving it. It's one of the worst, scrappiest goals I've ever seen. The cross comes in.
The goals that we said he never scored.
Yeah, the cross comes in from the corner, bounces back out to the corner taker. He whips it back in again. Low cross, bouncing, bobbling. Martial takes a touch and just rolls it into the corner. But there you go. Big props to Anthony Martial. The game tonight, for anyone watching as well, by the way, in the UK, is like Sky Sports plus red button extra -1 +1. Like, you have to dig right through the menus to get to United, which is maybe a testament to how far we've fallen. But also, Tottenham and City are playing as well, so, you know, might not be the most exciting of fixtures. Vito, who's been a member for 46 months, says, is nobody bothered that we'll be playing with a back 3 brackets, actually back 5 under Amorim? Does that bother you, Ronnie? That it's, on paper at least, it has the potential to be a very defensive formation. You're playing 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs. You're basically taking someone either out of the midfield or out of the attack to have another defender. Is that something that concerns you?
No, it's not as simple as that, especially when a lot of the 4-3-3 systems that managers play now, it almost becomes a 3 at the back in sometimes the way that we set up. You've seen it when the low inverts, it's almost like we become 3 at the back anyway. But from what I've heard or seen from Amorim, his wing backs aren't meant to be traditional fullbacks. They usually are very attacking players.
Yeah.
Almost at least one of them being more like winger than fullback, if anything.
They talk about him having defensive wingers.
Yeah.
Yes, it's more that, more Tom said, yeah.
So we haven't got the squad to have 4 wingers playing at once, have we? We've literally got 4 wingers. We've got Ahmad, Rashford, Garnacho, and Anthony. That's it. So we can't. We need. I'm hoping it is fullbacks. I mean, we've only got 2 of them. Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do. We need wingers and fullback. I don't even know what's going on. But
no, man. Anthony left wing back, career resurgence. I don't know.
I put that along just because of how hard he works.
Yeah.
But, you know, lacking that quality to be an actual winger.
I honestly don't think he would be a terrible wing back. If he, the thing that would stop him is that he doesn't want to do it and he won't put the effort in. But I think if he really went for it, I actually don't think that, because he's tenacious, he's aggressive, he's not bad with his left foot, he's not, you know, top quality, obviously. 43 shots, 1 goal. So he's not a winger, goal-scoring winger like Arjen Robben or something. But he can whip a ball with his left foot.
I can't believe how much he kicked off, though, when he was asked to do it for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's the problem. He's just not going to accept
Antonio Valencia.
He could, I don't know.
Ashley Young career arc.
Yeah. Maybe he could. I don't know. I doubt it will happen. But it's
disrespectful.
Also, he does win the ball back very well for a winger. His defensive stats for a winger are some of the best in the Premier League in terms of winning balls back and tackles and stuff. So he's not completely useless at that stuff. He just can't score, which is a problem. There's 5,000 people watching and only 400 likes. Let's get to 1,000 likes, please. If you're watching, please hit the like button. What we got? 8 minutes till kick-off. I'll start with you, Tom. Score prediction, please. Get your score predictions in the comments as well. Scoreline and scorers as well.
4-1.
Oh, it's big. It's huge even.
Yeah, because
that's in the last round.
It's huge. That's true. Who's going to score? How do you see it going? Paint a picture for me.
I don't know what to expect.
No.
I really don't know what to expect at all. Do you know? I just hope they start well. And we've seen so many chances. And forget the criticism of Ten Hag and whatnot. You know, this season, we've been so wasteful. Yeah. We've created so many decent opportunities, winning the ball, high up the pitch. Decision making's been poor, finishing's been awful. Just get a goal early on and relax a little bit, and hopefully score 1 or 2. Do
you think if Joshua Zirkzee gets 2 shots and scores 2 goals, do you think Ten Hag will break into Old Trafford and beat the shit out of it? You just all of a sudden just hear Ten Hag's music playing like WWE, and he comes walking down the ramp onto the pitch and just you scored 1 goal in 20 shots when I was here and I got sacked.
Dallo scores a chance he has no right putting in.
I was going to say that. I was about to say the low screamer is inevitable.
Yeah, Ten Hag with a steel chair coming down and just leathering people. I'd be so mad if I'm watching at home, and I would watch it as well. I'd probably put it on my phone while my wife.
I don't think Ten Hag's asked.
So mad. I think he is.
I think Ten Hag right now is.
How is he not asked?
He's on his laptop looking at houses, I reckon.
I think he looked a little bit defeated at the weekend. Like he didn't. The fire was gone.
He knows he's got 17 million on the way.
I know, but it's not about the money, is it? He's already rich. These people don't care about.
He's going to be in a beach somewhere like Turks and Caicos, probably still in his United tracksuit. He loved that, didn't he?
I agree with you. Yeah. I think he really fought for his job, didn't he? With the things that he said. Yeah. He really fought for what he was trying to do with the fact that, it's almost there. It's just that we're so wasteful, and this has happened. The next couple of games, if we start banging him in,
Yeah, I'd be
from less opportunities.
And also, I know obviously the 15 million softens the blow, and in terms of his life, he's set, he's sorted, he's fine. But he's got, what is he, 55? He's got another probably 15, 20 years of managing if he wants it. Like he's got a career he wants to have here. It's not just about the money, is it? Elon Musk is the richest man on earth, and really all he wants is for people to like him. Like he's got 200 billion quid and he wastes it on buying social media platforms so everyone will look at his little jokes and being Donald Trump.
I don't know if he's wasted.
He doesn't want the money.
It's a pretty good business. It's pretty good business. From what it
He wants
seems,
people to like
he's
him.
a good businessman. From what it seems, I don't think he's actually wasted anything.
He has on Twitter. He's definitely lost money on Twitter. But but the thing is, he won't think he's lost it because he's probably Twitter's value has plummeted by about 50%. But now everyone on the planet has to look at his little memes, and that's all he wants. Ten Hag doesn't want 15 million payout. He wants to be the best manager of his generation. That's all he cares about. I think he'll be.
Do you know you're as rich as Elon? You start basically playing real life Sims almost.
Yeah, just doing everything. Backing
doesn't Jeff Bezos go around in the sea trying to find relics from the wars? From
I always thought that. You know when you're so rich that you're that rich, you don't know what a problem feels like, and it's like you have to force yourself to get for side quests.
Imagine how many hobbies Bezos has gone through that he's reached that part of the list. I'm going relic.
Well, when I saw this,
I hope I've not. That's correct.
That's why it's always
don't Google that.
It's usually side quests or a constant supply of the finest Colombiano.
Or both in a lot of people's case. And also, you look at it like the money, the level of money that we have. When you want to spend a bit of money, you get a hobby, you get a football manager. They get Man United or Man City or Newcastle. Like the richest people in the world buy football clubs. Like that's just a hobby for Jim Ratcliffe, really, isn't it? It's just a fun hobby. We've had a poll in the comments. What formation do you think we'll see tonight? I think 40% say 4-2-3-1. Few on the 4-4-2 as well. Thank you. I'll go through some score predictions. I'll get to yours, Ronaldo. Fitness Balance says 1-0 United. That sounds like a early 2000s breakfast cereal that turns out to have far less protein in it than they said it did. Anil Pabla says 3-1. Donny Blackburn, which is a fucking fantastic name. I'd love the name Donny Blackburn. That's so good. 3-1. Ross Murphy, 3-1 Man United. Grassroots football, just in general, says 2-1. Kunzang Choden says huge 4-0 win. Ronaldo, score prediction?
3-2.
Who to?
United.
Yes, please.
3-2 United. Thing is, Leicester's team actually on paper looks alright, to be fair. There's a few players there that can cause problems.
Yeah.
So, and looking at ours, I'm thinking it's not going to be smooth sailing, but I'm predicting a 3-2 win.
Very interesting. Samwise 887 says, yes, boys, hope everyone is doing good. Up the paddock. Yeah, go on. You go for a little toilet. Vito says, is no one else bothered that we'll be playing with a 3? You can just Ronaldo just crawled in front, so he didn't have to go in front of the camera, which is really nice. I really enjoyed that. Edward Bamba says, 3 at the back formations aren't defensive. You're not playing one extra defender. You're playing one defender less. Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because, I mean... I was going to say, I thought...
You've still got 11 players. So we're talking about formation and...
Yeah, you've still got 11 players.
Yeah.
You can still get up the pitch in that.
Yeah, I mean, is it Juventus that famously played with a 3?
Yeah.
Teams have had great success.
You can do. Can we get a bit of volume to hear what the crowd's reaction to Van Nistelrooy is like, please? I'm sure it'd be fantastic. But also 3 at the back, there's plenty of managers who play defensively with 4 at the back. It doesn't matter really.
And you see how formations change, and with Man City playing with 4 centre halves that never seem to line up that way. It's a lot of it's on it's
the false 9 as well, isn't that? What you imagine going in without a striker, then Spain did it, and everyone's like, this isn't going to work. Oh shit, it worked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and for years, different teams, City would go through spells without a striker. Barcelona used to do it as well, where they wouldn't have a number 9, and you can still score 100 goals a season. Akash Chiman, who's been a member for 42 months, thank you very much again for signing up for the membership. FBF1 Sports, love that, says, been demanding 2 up front for ages, and here we are, a strike force is Xerxes and Bruno. Yeah, it might well be 2 up front, but the official Carabao EFL lineup have got it listed as a sort of 4-2-3-1.
How does everyone know he's going to play 4-4-2?
I don't know. You don't know until it comes out, unless they might ask the manager beforehand. But everyone sort of plays a 4-2-3-1 because it doesn't really matter, does it? It's a 4-3-3, it's a 4-4-2. It's just get in the right positions and score some goals. MD says the game is on Sky Sports Plus. Ronaldo, just walk in front of the camera. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all just, here we are. Come on, here he comes. There we go. Cut away from it and then cut back from it before he's even gone past it. Beautiful stuff there. Defeating the object there very much so. Scotty, did I ask you your score prediction yet?
No, you didn't. I think that it might be an emphatic victory today. I think Rashford might score a couple, maybe a hat-trick, and there'll be a huge Twitter meltdown afterwards saying, why couldn't he do it after the Ten Hag?
It'll be the worst if Rashford kicks form now.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to go 5-1 United.
5-1. So 4-1, 5-1, 3-2. I'm going to go 2-1. I think we'll look good in the first half. We'll have a little freedom to it, and then we'll remember that we're actually a bit scared of everything, and then it'll probably go downhill second half, and we'll concede one.
Scored in every game, haven't they, Leicester?
A favour for the...
I think so.
Back, can we put the fan down a little bit? No, I'm freezing.
We'll turn it up a little bit. Turn it up to 22 or something. That'll be lovely. That. And we've kicked off. Apparently, we're slightly behind, obviously, because we haven't got it on Sky Sports Plus exactly, but we will keep up to date with it. And the ticker in the bottom corner will have the time that we are watching it on. So if you want to line it up with that,
Andy Madley,
please do.
I don't think I've ever seen a referee without a default name. Mike Dean. Clattenburg's up there.
Mark Clattenburg's pretty good.
Michael Oliver, 2 first names.
Yeah, there's a bit of 2 first names syndrome with refs,
Mike Dean,
there? Mike Dean, Michael Oliver.
There's another one.
There's
Anthony
another.
Taylor.
Anthony, that's not one. Right.
Taylor's a first name.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
yes, it is.
A first name. Yeah,
I know Taylor.
No, it is a first name as well. Taylor Swift. Oh, we're looking so good so far, aren't we? 10 seconds in. This is it, boys. We're going to win the lot.
Have they started Mavadi? No, they haven't. They have a few for first team. Team is not playing.
Playing out from the back a little bit. How much do you care about the Carabao Cup? Do you think that could be one of the few sort of salvations this season, or do you
it's
think
the competition I care the least about? But I'm also an advocate for not tossing off cup runs or wait.
Such a child.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
What do you think, Tom?
Do I care about this cup?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you toss off the Carabao Cup?
Yeah, no, I'm the same as you. I don't want to just, it feels like such a waste when you make changes and you didn't need to, and you've achieved nothing from it really. Like this, you've got a big squad. There's players on the fringes, that are desperate to prove a point. Just approach it the same way you approach a lot of the cups in the early round, and then before you know it, you're in a quarter-final.
Yeah.
He's got a turtleneck on.
Well, yeah, what do you make of Van Nistelrooy's outfit tonight? His turtleneck, trench coat.
It's almost like he's trolling.
Is that what he's wearing? So I can't actually see him because of the light.
It's not quite that. It's similar to that though. It's a sort of grey kind of trench coat looking thing with a little turtleneck underneath. It's not full suit, but it's also not tracksuit either. What would you wear, Ronaldo, if you were a coach? Would you be a tracksuit guy, sort of like this kind of Bundesliga hoodie style? Or would you be United suit through and through? Or the Pulis?
I'd
Bubbles?
Be a tracksuit guy.
Would you?
Actually, I'd mix it up.
Yeah. I think I'd be suit as much.
That is the German
possible.
style, isn't it? Kind of smart casual.
Yeah.
Smart casual, I
don't see it in England.
No, not as much. You sometimes even see a suit jacket with a hoodie underneath and a cap. That's really pushing the boundaries there, isn't it? But then again, all Bundesliga managers wear glasses, which is weird because they don't feel like they do in England.
Do they?
It feels like they do. Whenever you imagine one.
Now there are people that wear glasses as a fashion statement now, don't they? The ones that are unprescribed.
Yeah, definitely. Thoughts on the first 2 minutes, Scott? It's unbelievable stuff, isn't it?
Amazing. I've not seen them keep the ball this long for a good few games. I don't think Leicester have touched it, have they, in the first 2 minutes?
No, not so far. They don't need to.
Do we need Amorim?
Maybe, exactly, yeah.
He was my favourite player for a while, Van Nistelrooy, growing up.
If Ruud wins, it's only his first game, and then Amorim loses his first game.
I didn't get to watch him.
No.
We should have kept Ruud.
Yeah, we should have kept Ruud. You'll see it. If we do well.
He was inevitable.
Yeah. Goal scorer.
Amazing box player.
Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, just...
Yeah.
Oh, that goal against Fulham that he scored.
Yeah.
The best finisher I've ever seen at United.
It was
definitely
his heading of the ball as well. He always seemed to head the ball perfectly into the ground to make it... he could dink it with both feet.
Yeah,
he's brilliant.
Keep it.
Yeah, United. I mean, looking pretty much how we've looked in recent weeks, really. I don't think I've seen too much difference. How much different can they be in terms of tactics and stuff?
Shot, yeah.
Probably a little bit more relaxed, like we said, but they're not going to look that different, are they? It's a nice little touch. Don't know. Yeah. What have you made of Dalot? I saw you tweeting about him the other day, Ronnie. Are you losing faith?
No, I was not losing faith. I wasn't happy.
Lindelof, just Lindelofing his way around the pitch.
He always gets bullied at
He loves
Lindelof.
an extensive physical battle that he comes out on the, the wrong end of. He loves one of them.
Yeah.
Proper pushing his striker for ages, and then the striker gets the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dalot, sorry, what were you saying?
I was just unhappy with the miss.
Yeah.
It was atrocious, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
I thought
bad.
he was offside for a second, just the way at all times stood still. I thought, has he seen something? Has a whistle gone?
Yeah.
It's one of those where you almost hope he is offside, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that
For
way
his
you go,
own sake.
oh, you probably knew he was offside, that's why he missed it. You can always give yourself that little excuse.
Yeah.
But in real life, he just didn't score, did he? We actually look very composed, according to Jonah. Lindelof is crap, says Kieran O'Brien. Interesting.
He just could have dealt with that. The thing is, what was annoying, he kind of made that his own problem. He had the ball, he won it back, he shielded it well at first, and then he prolonged the physical battle that he eventually lost, as you said.
Yeah, he loves doing that. He does absolutely love it.
Steve Cooper.
What do you make of him? Coops?
Decent gaffer. I always say it every time I see him, I feel like. He
They're
was my under 14s
They're not
gaffer.
keen.
It's good, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are they at the minute?
Pardon?
They're not too keen at the minute, Leicester fans.
Yeah.
On Cooper?
They're not. They're
It
like.
kind of goes game to game.
There
like,
are a few places above the relegation zone a bit at the minute, but
I think
Yeah,
they've
they're
got
a bit-
some results
Yeah.
with some late goals, some comeback wins where the performance has overall been a bit concerning.
yeah.
Xerxes
But they're
there,
scoring goals.
losing the ball.
I think he thought he was getting a foul and he didn't,
Yeah, it almost looked like it. And then he kind of...
Yeah.
Casemiro got in the way of him, didn't he?
because it was a decent turn initially, and then
It's all Leicester now.
Yeah, I wonder if Amorim's watching this. He must be. He's got it on, hasn't he?
yeah,
you think he has?
definitely foul throw.
Yeah. Very rarely given.
I see 1 or 2 foul throws every single game that I
Very
watch,
never get
and they
given,
never
do
give
they?
it. But like, I see a throw, and I'm like, that is the most blatant foul throw. But decide to give it now.
It's a weird game, this, isn't it? Because if we lose, we are out of a cup, and yet it almost feels like, who cares? Just
It's like an
enjoy
in-between.
yourselves.
It's like a period of nothingness, which
Yeah.
is why I want the manager in sooner rather than later, because I
Yeah.
hate these periods where you know he's coming. It's just...
Yeah, it almost doesn't feel real, this game, does it? That is the worst bit, isn't it? Just waiting for it to happen. No, it is almost... Oh, go on then! Defender's falling over. Xerxes got some space inside.
Fuck off.
That's a man low on confidence.
He beat the first guy, but
Why
it's
didn't he
just
just
the last
pass
bit.
it? Why didn't he just go past his man and tow it to the player inside?
I think he went past the first guy, but then the last bit,
At times he looks really bad, doesn't he?
that wasn't
Seriously.
that wasn't that bad. I was more annoyed with him before, like just being a bit languid, but
I hope he has a good game today, Ugarte. Because he got a load of stick, didn't he?
a lot of the
That
criticism I'll give
Ronaldo.
him. No, but I'm not.
I know, a lot of people are a lot harsher than
I
you
wanted
right
him
now.
to do. I still want him to do really well. It was more about the 6 in Ten Hag's system. I thought he was being set up to fail because he wasn't that type of player. It wasn't me thinking he was like a terrible signing. I thought 50 million was a bit much, but I thought he's a midfielder that can provide value in a way of being a double pivot player, similar to like a Fred.
Yeah.
With his energy, his legs, his tenacity. A lot of the profiles that we don't have in some of the other midfielders, but it was coming in as that number 6 that I thought was like under Ten Hag's system, which, as you've seen, anyone that's played there has had a difficult time.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe that he wasn't an immediate necessity. It feels like we moved obviously McTominay out. We held on to kind of get these funds available to bring him in for what was quite a lot of money he's been just feels a little bit underused. I know Ten Hag likes to
Oh,
bring his
don't do that. Don't
players
pass
in
10
slow.
like that. That was horrible. That was
That's
like he
10-2.
died, wasn't it? He went. I know Ten Hag liked to. Oh, that's so
He
sad.
always liked it.
He's gone now. Ten Hag always liked to bring a player in slowly. I remember that time when McTominay was playing out at Casemiro.
It did feel a bit weird when he went to the dugout then and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it was.
yeah.
It don't feel real, does it? It don't feel like he's actually gone.
We'll romanticise it soon. We'll only remember the good times.
I already
I
do.
don't.
That FA Cup
everyone
final,
knows I'm not
you
like
never
that.
take that away from me. Hell of a day. Look at that. Dalot's playing 1-2s with Leicester now. That's how good Van Nistelrooy is.
I mean, everyone's going to be like, under tonight, the Leicester player would have took that.
Yeah. The Leicester players know that we've done the right
I hate
thing.
our fan base sometimes for that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It's too much game to game.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of super chats. Danny Inns says, it's my birthday Friday. Hoping for a win to kick off my birthday celebrations. Come on, United. Happy birthday, Danny. Been a member for 50 months as well.
Wow.
Coming up on the old 5 years. As Leicester have got a very good counter-attack option here. And it's a terrible pass. Blocked by De Ligt. Although they've won it back on the edge of our box. With a little shot to the back post. Well,
I'm not going to lie to you. I've said it quite a few games, but I don't think Garnacho gets nearly enough stick for how often fullbacks run off him going forward.
Yeah.
He's always not goal side. That bit again, I think the whole he works extremely hard off the ball defensively is a bit of a myth. I think he's energetic in his going forward play, but so often I see fullbacks run off him. And I'm like, do you know what I mean? But because that happened again with Justin, and it happened with Wan-Bissaka on the weekend. Wan-Bissaka was goal side of him going forward every single time.
Yeah, it is a bit of an issue, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that's just because he's young, or do you think it's because he's always trying to stay up further in the pitch to get shots off? What do you think it is? Just not putting the work in?
I think he does have a great engine on him.
Yeah,
like, I don't think he's...
So that's what I mean. I don't think it's an energy thing. I think it's almost, which would be worrying, just him like not wanting to do it. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, if you look at his...
for example, that's the right back gone again, and he's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah,
I don't know whether it's maybe instruction that he has to cheat upfield for like the counter, because he's good on the counter, but do you know what I mean?
In the other games, Eze has scored against Aston Villa, so Palace 1-0 up there. Just looking at Garnacho's numbers in terms of defensive work compared to other wingers, so his tackling and defending in his own third and is in the middle third, so where you talk about tracking back into his own half, he's well below average on both of those, 29th percentile and 26th percentile for the defending third and middle thirds. His tackles generally are in the bottom third for wingers. His percentage of dribblers tackled is in the bottom 18% of wingers. So he's not someone that gets stuck in the defensive stuff. His interceptions are very high, which is probably as much to do with the sort of the press and the
winning the ball high up the pitch. You know, he's good for that.
He's not too bad at that. Yeah, but
which makes you wonder if it was a direction thing. You know.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah. Interesting though, yeah, it's not something that he thrives at. The thing with Rashford as well is he doesn't really thrive at that either. That worries me a little bit when we've seen games. What game was that? Newcastle game, remember, away from home last season, where they were just overlapping constantly, and Rashford was basically being asked to track back into his own 18-yard box over and over again, and they just didn't want to do it at all, did they? And we got completely overrun as Leicester are getting a bit of momentum here. Thoughts on the first 10 minutes, Scotty?
It's been a bit bland, hasn't it, really? Not really a lot happened. The passing seems a little bit slick, but apart from that, not really much to report, really. We're not getting beat. I'm still optimistic that we're going to go through. But
still optimistic of the big win.
Yeah, the big win. I mean, I'm not asked about the Carabao Cup. You didn't ask me before.
5-0 was it?
I think 5-1. Just for the lows on
it could
Twitter.
still happen. You get a goal in the next 10 minutes.
Well, I don't think Leicester would be that asked about going out of the Carabao Cup.
Dallo, what are you doing there?
Yeah, he's been a bit more error prone.
I don't get that decision to, with your weaker left foot.
Because he tracks the runner well, defends well, and then it's just like do the next
put it out for a corner.
That's
better than that.
Yeah.
He does these things sometimes, Dallo, where you just think, what have you done that for?
Yeah.
He doesn't make small mistakes, does he, Dallo? It's always glaring errors.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get like a big Portuguese contingency at Old Trafford now?
Maybe. Hopefully. I mean, I don't want the owners to completely abandon the idea of bringing in someone that Amorim likes. I don't think we should go completely the other way. And maybe a player or two over the next couple of windows that Amorim's worked with before. that can be a kind of leader in the squad, know the tactics, help other people. I do think like Martinez's presence in that first season was helpful to the rest of the defence and stuff under Ten Hag. But I don't want it to be like 6 of the next 7 signings are either Portuguese or have worked under Amorim. I don't think that, it's got to be a balance, surely. What do you think?
No, it definitely can't be that. To be fair, I spoke at length about this before, just about how I think the recruitment should be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it should definitely not be that.
Would you still think, though, supporting him a little bit with that, maybe an ex-player or two? Do you think that's a good thing generally? Yeah.
See, like as I said before, you can maybe have like 1 or 2.
I think you sometimes will need a couple that, if there's players that in a position where we're looking that he knows his, he knows they know the system very well, and it makes sense. That can only help him.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Although I can't imagine the Anthony signing helped Ten Hag much.
No,
it certainly didn't help his relationship with Jadon Sancho, did it?
How do you pronounce the striker's name?
Xerxes?
No, for Lisbon.
Oh, Gyökeres. Or Gyökeres, yeah.
Take him.
I don't know, he looks good, but then you look, I knew a little bit about him, and you thought, well, 2 years, like 18 months ago, he was playing for Coventry.
He was brilliant at Coventry.
I know he was good, but he's not been this sort of like rapid career rise. He's 24 years old? He's obviously a very good player. He's 26 years old. So at the age of 24, 25, he was playing in the Championship, which is unusual, isn't it? You'd usually expect to sort of come through a little bit quicker than that.
Was Lewandowski a bit of a late bloomer?
He was, but he was still playing, what was it, Dortmund?
Oh my God!
Whoa!
For God's sake!
Casemiro with an absolutely...
Oh my God, what a goal!
If you didn't see that goal, think nanny.
Guy.
That is a nanny goal. That was an unbelievable strike from Casemiro, That was unbelievable. Did you miss that?
I wasn't looking.
Oh, no.
Oh, mate.
Jesus.
What was he, 30 out there?
Yeah,
Bloody hell. I don't know what I'm saying, but I've not seen it.
You could, but you saw.
I could just feel it in the air.
Yeah.
That was absolutely ridiculous. That
was it just off the ground? Was it a volley or?
Keeper
just
even
ball
dive.
rolling on the floor and just put
Went
it in the top
Garnacho,
corner.
bit of
Proper
a
like a
sloppy
nanny
pass
goal.
back to Bruno, but then he just left it. Or was that tackle? I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Was it tackle or?
Oh.
Top. He hits the crossbar.
Was it
Underside of the crossbar.
tackleless?
No.
That's absolutely
it's Bruno.
ridiculous.
Nice on there.
Yeah.
Just.
Oh wow.
He's got so much space, but he couldn't hit it better. That you literally can't hit a shot better than that, can you? Top corner, crossbar in it. Literally perfect. A perfect goal that from Casemiro. Van Nistelrooy looking absolutely stunned.
Penny for Erik.
Wolfwick says Amorim out. Yeah, I completely agree. Get him out. Ruud in permanently. That was ridiculous, that. Retired fraud, talking about strikers who were a little bit late bloomers. Watkins, Vardy, Tony, Gyökeres is the truth. Yeah, very good. The only do
you know what?
Every time I see him, I'm
gonna
give.
I'm always, whenever I think of Gyökeres, I always think about Dre. Remember Dre? That was here.
Oh yeah,
Steve Paddock.
yeah.
He was singing Gyökeres' praises from like early days at Coventry, thinking he was going to be the next big thing.
Really?
And then he has.
He has been, yeah. He's averaging a goal a game in the league for Sporting under Amorim, obviously. But again, it is, and I'm not saying that Gyökeres isn't good enough. But when I see like players like Bas Dost in that league, and he was getting a goal a game, and this, it's doesn't always translate, does it? But I'll leave that up to the likes of Jason Wilcox and Dan Ashworth and the scouting team as well to work out if he's good enough or not. The only thing is, it's going to cost you a hell of a lot as well.
Yeah,
they're talking 60 to 100 million for him. It's not going to be 35, 40 million quid. So you're paying a lot of money for him, but he looks good, doesn't he? 135 goals in 295 career games in total. But you look at some of the players he's played for.
Some of their clubs.
It was the clubs. It was at Brighton for a handful of years. Then whilst he was at Brighton, was on loan in the second division Bundesliga, on loan in the Championship, on loan at Coventry in the Championship, and then bought by Coventry, then sold to Sporting, where he's just gone absolutely ballistic, and he's got 59 in 65 in the league since he got there. It's amazing how that can happen, and he just go mad. Like Harry Kane did a similar thing, didn't he? He was on loan around
I used to
England.
Occasionally go and watch Wigan sometimes.
Yeah.
And Ivan Toney was on loan there. I don't know. He might have scored one. I don't know if he even scored. Never.
Really?
I couldn't square the player he was a couple of years later with what I've seen a couple of times. I watched him there.
I think he was late bloomers as well.
Wigan got 4. He got 4 goals in 24 appearances for Wigan.
4. I didn't even realise.
Well, Mo Salah and De Bruyne later bloomers as well.
Yeah. Salah in that goal scoring sense. Yeah, he was.
What year?
He was
How old was
But
he?
there's a
runner,
difference
wasn't he?
between playing for like Wolfsburg and Roma than there is playing for Coventry.
Or Basel?
Yeah, well, but no. But
Yeah, but there's a reason why he's gone from
Salah
Coventry
went
to
from
Sporting Lisbon and
Basel to Chelsea to Roma, though, didn't he? He didn't. He was never in like the second division. I'm not trying to knock Gyökeres, but like it's like Kevin De Bruyne was at Wolfsburg getting 20 assists in the league season, like the record I think at the time. So there's a late bloomers, and then there's you playing in second tier.
Salah had to take a step back, really, didn't he?
He did take a step back.
He's gone to Chelsea and then
Went to Basel.
Yeah. Oh no, didn't they get him from
he came
Basel?
from Basel.
Basel,
and then,
Chelsea,
and then he
Roma,
didn't quite,
Liverpool.
maybe they just didn't feel, and then he went to Italy and.
Yeah. But we'll have to wait and see if he's the right guy. Then we'll see. But there's not really been any links with Gyökeres to United, though, has there?
No,
until now.
Until I've just said that.
Yeah. He's been linked with a load of big clubs, though. Anyone who scores a goal a game at any level is going to get linked to big clubs, isn't he?
It's a bit like when all the talk around Van Dijk, and the only criticism you could have is that the level of the club he was playing at, and that he'd come from Celtic, and that he was playing in a lesser team. But you look him with your eyes, he looked like a phenomenal player. And,
he did.
Get up,
and then it
Bruno,
just seemed like stupid that no one had gone for him sooner.
Yeah. Was it Celtic and then Southampton, obviously?
Yeah.
No, was it Southampton, Celtic, and
Celtic. He came from Celtic to Southampton.
Yeah. Liverpool bought him from Southampton.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like 27 when they bought him. Liverpool. He wasn't young.
He was brilliant at both clubs, though. And
he was.
It's like, form for that kind of club. What kind of move can it get you? Because maybe people think it's not going to translate. But
has he just been booked? Have we got a free kick there?
Yeah, I thought it was really soft at first.
I did.
But
He does pull his shirt, but
you don't see those given.
No.
Ones where the ball's like bouncing 20 yards away.
Yeah.
He's never getting there anyway.
no. So I was going to say, if the ball had been bounced,
Because I initially was
closer,
like, get
it
up,
might have been
Bruno.
a red.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was denying him a goal scoring opportunity, was he? Because he was never going to get to that ball. But
To be fair, that will still be clipped up by Arsenal fans.
yeah. Why is this not a red?
I only complained about the Havertz one. When there was 3 infringements after that before the goal went in anyway. Even before the goal went in.
It's in the hand, doesn't it?
No,
it's not gonna be,
right before Jesus scores, Havertz actually shoves Trent in the back into the goal.
There's
about 3-4 reasons that goal could have been disallowed.
Free kick to United, Rashford into the wall.
Right.
Someone took that at neck height, didn't they?
Indy's nuts, man.
Not really made any chances yet, United. I know we scored the goal, but it's not been a cutting Leicester apart kind of performance at all, has it?
No.
And a lot of Xerxes passes at the minute of tackles. Yeah, he's well off. Xerxes there played a really nice through ball, but
no
it was just
VAR
a tackle
today.
of the Leicester player, wasn't it? No VAR, is that right?
Yep.
Oh, great.
Is that for the whole? Is it just at Wembley or something?
I don't know. Yeah, it must be at
Or
Wembley.
just at the final.
I thought it was just at Premier League grounds. It's like, say we're playing away at like a championship team and there's no VAR.
Well, it was that in the FA Cup, wasn't it? I don't know if they've stopped it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they can't install it at Barrow, can they? I mean,
They can't.
They could, but they don't. Do they?
No.
No, sure they're not. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. One of the things about VAR that never really gets mentioned is the fact that the way that the game is reffed from like non-league all the way through to the Premier League is meant to be the same. It's the same sport the whole way through.
There's still so much diving in the penalty area in the Championship and League One, and it's almost gone from the Premier League.
That's true, but I just hate it.
It's even Europe though. Like Europe's reffed a lot differently than the Premier League.
But they have VAR though.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the style of refereeing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you said.
So do you think that's just a cultural thing then, or?
Yeah.
Because I remember it used to be the case. I think it's probably levelled itself out a little bit. But I remember watching like sort of El Clasicos maybe 10, 15 years ago, like the Jose Ronaldo era at Madrid. And the game was so stop-start with fouls and like tactical fouls and people going over much more easily and stuff. It used to feel like, oh, it's really soft. And then now you watch it, it doesn't quite... I think we've kind of gone to that European style a lot more than we used to. But years ago, it always used to seem completely different. Free kick to Leicester. Just inside United's half. Ball it up into the box, headed away by Lindelof there. A few scores in the other grounds. Villa have equalised. Duran with a goal against Palace, 1-1. Newcastle, Isaac's found his shooting boots, hasn't he? Just after everyone sold him on fantasy football about 3 weeks ago, he's got goals in back-to-back games.
I think that was you, innit?
It was everyone. 60% of people had him at the start of the season. Everyone had him. He was the only striker other than Haaland.
Has he been in and out with injury as well? I think
he hadn't. He hadn't been injured this season.
He's semi-injury prone as well. So
he's
always a bit.
But this season he's not been injured as much. And then Preston are losing to Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus with the goal. These are the sort of goals that gets Gabriel Jesus his 12 goals a season. And you're looking, they're all against like Preston and Wigan and stuff like that. I think he's crap, Gabriel Jesus.
Nah, he's a good footballer, Gabriel Jesus.
He is, but he's not good enough.
Central striker.
But you know what that reminds me of? I'm not just judging players off goals, because even that, his record's not completely awful. It's not great. I don't think he's. You know what it is with Jesus? I don't think he's actually a striker.
Yeah,
I think he's a winger.
He's a brilliant dribbler.
Because he's good with his feet. You can't. There's no way you can say he's a bad footballer. Gabriel Jesus is not a bad footballer.
No, I just don't think they should have spent 50 million quid on it.
It's the same way everyone pretends that Nicholas Jackson is awful, and I've always thought I had to watch him once to think, regardless of the fact that he'd have a dodgy miss at the end. When I watched him in games overall, I thought he was a decent player, and now his goal record's matching it. People are catching on, but I've always thought he was decent.
The thing with me is, I don't think Nicholas Jackson's bad. I just think he's the most annoying player that's ever lived. I think he's so good at times and so terrible at times that he would do my head in if he played for United. I know he gets goals.
Is it the miss?
Some of his
misses. His miss at the Emirates.
Amazing.
Because you know what happens is, which is typical Nicholas Jackson, is before he did that miss against Emirates, the play before it was really good. Is it 2-0? Yeah.
What for Newcastle? Yeah. Who scored the second? Who are you playing again? Chelsea. Oh, it's a big game that.
The draw's opening.
And Chelsea can't use the
draw's opening.
Chelsea can't really use the whole B team excuse, because their B team probably costs what?
600 million quid. Literally. What did they've spent 1.2 billion quid since Ten Hag got here?
Yeah.
Like it was looking at teams who spent the most in the league since Ten Hag arrived. It's like everyone, and then it's United at like 600 million, and then Chelsea at 1.2 billion. And you're like, we're the second highest, and they've spent that much more than us.
It's because they've probably got similar expenditure somehow.
Yeah, because they sell $1 billion worth of players every summer.
And hotels.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Got rid of that now, though, haven't they?
Ethan, you reckon you can get a result then against Arsenal?
Yeah. Have they got Arsenal at the weekend?
Yeah, they do.
Struggled in the league.
It was very controversial last year, though, wasn't it?
Ooh, you'll get there, buying it. Well done, lad. Oh, I almost gave it away. Well done. Sorry about that. Between them there, Martinez and Bayindir almost completely messed that up.
He's been played massively on there.
He was Delo trying to play him on it. Yeah.
I think he was still off though.
No, I thought Delo played him on.
Do you think?
Yeah. Dunno. Maybe that's because that put the light on the screen.
Yeah. I don't know. It was
struggling.
Close.
I'm not seeing the goal yet.
You have seen it now, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not been like a great performance from United, really, has it? We've kept the ball quite well, but
we've not made any
chances. It's been a bit more controlled, though, like in terms of.
I think does that just mean boring, but we've got the ball?
Yeah, that's unfortunately what a lot of these bigger clubs do play like, but we just not really play.
That was my favourite bit about this season, the second half against Southampton.
Yeah.
because we didn't.
Well, there you go. Got to score.
Yes! 2-0.
2-0. There you go. It's boring, and then you get a goal at the end of it. One good ball through to Dalot, a brilliant whip cross to the back post, and Garnacho rushing in to finish it first time. Lovely finish that. Good goal.
Good goal.
Good goal. Oh God, is this what football is?
I think
this is what football is, isn't it?
Do you not think with how we've started, I know it's not been amazing, obviously we're 2-0 up, but it's been like not holding on to the ball as long. It's one on one.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. 5-0 doesn't sound so ludicrous now.
It doesn't. Just looking at the stats, United have had 61%
Exactly, that's what it's felt like.
Yeah.
It might look boring and feel that way, but when you've got that much of the ball, then it's less likely the other team's going to hurt you.
Yeah, you're right. Although weirdly, this must not have been updated. It says we've had a 0.05 expected goal so far. But that can't be right.
Yeah, that was the only shot we had was the Casemiro one.
Yeah, but that must have been higher than that. I think that must not have been updated yet, but who cares? It's 2-0.
Now we've scored that kind of goal, cutting them open a little bit.
Yeah, that was good.
Confidence should. I know, it's been dire this season, but you miss the amount of chances we have done.
Yeah.
It puts so much pressure on you every game, and
can I say?
Go on.
You're right. Can I say something though? Because Delo gets a lot of criticism, and I always backed him. But I think he's been really bad.
Yeah.
He's been quite bad this season.
Yeah.
But today's an example of what I've always preached about Delo. Though is Delo will do a lot of good things in a game that are really minor that people ignore, but then he kind of focus on when he makes a bit of an error.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I think he's our best first phase player as well, in terms of when he drives out with the ball and he helps.
Other than Luke Shaw,
he helps us progress the ball the best. But obviously, he does cost us a goal or two. But for example, that was a really, really good run and really good cross and assist through goal. But I reckon that won't be mentioned by many.
I don't think.
Do you know what I mean?
No one needs to do that
right.
from full back, because I think I think he really does become a bit of a winger in just physically when he gets into the top end of the pitch.
Yeah, and I think as well he's got that thing about him of he's got great work rate and really good willingness as well. Sometimes almost always when he makes a mistake defensively, I feel like it's a lapse in concentration rather than a lapse in effort. Bruno's got the ball, 20 yards out.
Why?
Just shoot, Bruno.
Yeah, just shoot. Or get the pass right.
Yeah.
But don't do neither. Bruno, though, he intercepted the ball well.
He did.
I think the positioning there of Xerxes wasn't great.
Xerxes got at you
Yeah,
around
looked like
top
they
of each
ran the
other,
same
weren't
way.
they? Yeah. But Xerxes looked decent for Bologna, didn't he? He's not because sometimes some of the things he does are good and impressive, and he holds the ball up well at times. But some of the things he does are almost a bit amateurish at times as well. But he is obviously a good player. Do you think he's just not up to the speed of the league yet, or what's going on?
Yeah.
I watched a bit of his his first start for the Netherlands, and he scored a goal. He linked up really well, and after the game, they were talking about how much better the Netherlands look with him playing there, and that's the model now to go forward with.
Yeah.
And then you see him on the weekend, and it looks like he can't kick a football.
It's weird, isn't it? And some of the things as well, and obviously the speed, I could never play it up to the speed of it. But sometimes you think, I could have found that 6-yard pass. Like these players who are obviously so capable of doing the thing that they're failing to do. He does look like he's lacking confidence a bit, doesn't he?
Do you not? Did you see Capello's comments this week about Xerxes, about how it looks like a completely different player between Bologna and Man United? A lot of it's down to the pace in the league.
Yeah.
But if you look at Napoli and how well McTominay's sort of fitting in over there and how great he's looking, so it is going to take a while for bedding in. I just think because he's a young new player at Manchester United, and I think he was pinned as being a goal scorer, but he was never that type of player. But we needed goals, so we sort of put that pressure on top of him. I think he scored more than Jack Grealish over 12 months, hasn't he? Even though he's only been.
True. Yeah, I do think the Italian league in particular feels like it takes a little bit of time to align the speed up, doesn't it? It's definitely a lot slower than the Premier League.
It's more of a chess match, Serie A.
Yeah.
And I know Onana will make mistakes, but he doesn't strike me as someone who would struggle with confidence.
No.
But I felt like it weighed on him a little bit at the start. Once you a bit of mistake, bit of criticism, you really struggle for 6 months.
I think other than a couple of goals in the Liverpool game, I think he's been really good this season, Onana.
I think it's night and day from last season.
Yeah, he looks like a good keeper, and he does a lot of good things as well. Like he's almost got that Dalot thing of he'll make a big mistake occasionally, but he'll do 40 things in the game otherwise that are very good. His positioning, his ability to receive the ball, the little clips out to the fullbacks. He's a very good keeper, but he's just got a clanger in him, which is obviously not ideal, is it? 2-0 now, Arsenal.
Alisson's got a clanger in him.
Yeah.
Just doesn't come up that much, does it?
And Edison as well. Edison's not a great shot stopper. You're not a fan of Edison, are you? Is it you?
I am.
It's you and it.
Edison's a terrible shot
he's a
stopper.
good player on the ball, but I feel like every shot that comes against him
goes in.
It goes in.
Yeah. I remember you saying that. Whoa!
What a
good
finish
goal,
that is.
2-1. I tell you what, that's a phenomenal goal.
What a goal that is.
He's absolutely zipped that into the bottom corner, inside of the post, across the goal, into the other
just
post.
Just snuck in. Yeah. Great finish.
Bloody hell. Yeah, nothing you can do about that, really, is there? Van Nistelrooy looked truly gutted there. Cross in.
The keeping's a
Punched
bit.
away.
It's not a great punch, is it?
Not great.
But, fair play to the finish. He catches that really
That's
well.
a strike.
He
that.
does. He
Both
absolutely
posts.
fizzes that in, and it couldn't be more bottom corner. Literally, if that's a centimetre further to the
Sideline,
right,
though.
it don't go in. Like it hits through the post and
that's-
comes out or whatever.
That's a finish.
Lovely. Right, 2-1. Now what? I predicted 2-1.
What did I predict? 3-2.
Yeah.
So,
Let's hope it's not. Let's get the next goal. That's a good. Ended up being a good touch and a poor one there. It'd be nice now for United to hold the ball a little bit and not get into a game of sort of ping pong that we tend to do when things get a bit stressful. Rashford goes around his man, squares it. It's a great bit of play from Rashford.
I
love it when he does that.
That was pulled just a bit.
Yeah, just a foot further back and we've got a goal there.
Foot back sexy. Foot further back.
Yeah, he does well there, Rashford. Just drills it to the back post and a corner to United. We'll keep tabs with the Tottenham City game as well, which is currently 0-0. Go on.
I've got Giants in there. It's usually just Casemiro that gets his head on things, isn't it?
We've got Delict as well, though, who can do it.
Oh, was that Delot?
Yeah. Back out to Bruno.
Corner number 2.
A little skimmer to
come on.
Garnacho, edge of the box. Onto his left foot.
Foul.
Clear
Nice,
foul.
well played.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Werner's
just scored against City 1-0.
Tottenham are usually City's crap tonight, isn't it?
Wasn't it like the first 4 games they didn't even score at the
I
top
think
of the
City
table?
are the type of team that don't give a shit about going out of the Carabao Cup
I
tonight.
don't know though. They've won it 4 times under Pep. He used to
but I don't
Yeah, but
think
they win it at a canter, don't they? And
Yeah,
then
I don't think.
they only-
I think they almost win it without trying.
To be fair, the team they've put out, it's got the likes of Nunes, O'Reilly,
You only really see the players when it comes
McAtee,
to
Foden's playing up front. He doesn't even
semi-final.
start from anymore. Gundogan as well. Ortega in goal.
Come on, Bruno.
Also, and I don't know why, and I don't really know what I mean by this, but isn't it very Tottenham that their stadium is called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Isn't there something like slightly pathetic about that? Give it a name. Why is it just called
I
your
still
team's
call it
name with
White Hart.
stadium
I still
at the
say
end?
White Hart Lane.
I
Like
think
you want,
that's
like a
shit,
sponsor?
that. No, like give it a White Hart Lane or give it like at Old Trafford or some like. Why is it just called your team stadium? Like you've written your name in the back of your PE kit. Like come up with something. Even if it's new White Hart Lane, just do something. Rubbish that. Free kick. Bruno's going to score. Yeah.
Oh my days.
deflect it in.
3-1.
3-1.
That's a goal for
Who did
anyone
that
who missed
deflect
it.
off?
Dunno.
Was it off Casemiro?
I absolutely knew that was going in.
It looks
I don't know
like
why.
I almost
Are they
didn't see
laughing
it go
about
in.
something? Has it gone in off someone else?
I don't know.
Another United player.
We've scored 3 goals off an XG of about 0.2. And I absolutely love it.
Oh, I hope Xerxes flicked it.
Right,
in.
it took an absolute skimmer for them to score. I think that come off Casemiro.
I think he's claiming it, isn't he?
Is it?
I think
Did it?
No, no.
Oh, that's an own goal, that.
Yeah.
I don't know if
is
it
that even
would
going
That
in?
was going wide.
Was it?
Probably was
I
going
hope
on
he gets
target.
it.
Just,
One of them I'd give it him, to be
I
honest.
can't imagine that was going wide
Probably
from
will get
there.
it. When a deflection's that early, they usually can't say.
As it stands, there's been 4 goals in this game from a cumulative 0.53 XG. That's what you like to see. That's how you know good goals are going in, isn't it? Forget all this chances
But I
created.
saw.
I know it's early, but can we have a little bit of an XG counter? You're not allowed to say it for 50 more minutes.
No, I'm allowed to.
Oh, I just wanted to say something about it.
He's called it in.
Yeah.
Right, you can have the last one
Yeah,
for
no,
15
I
minutes.
saw it for the game at the weekend, and West Ham's was higher than ours.
Yeah, but don't worry about
You
that.
can believe it, yeah.
How does it make sense? Yeah.
The second half.
Yeah,
And the
second
penalty.
half.
Yeah, and the penalty.
Still, but open nets and clear-cut chances. Anyway,
It's crazy.
Go on, you got to. Well done.
I'm
and again,
over
and
it.
again. Good lad.
Go
That's good, that.
Well, play.
Not just winning the first one, but the speed to win the second one
nice
as well.
touch.
Find a pass. That's
good.
good.
Very nice.
Garnacho into the box. Squares it. Oh, no, he doesn't square it. Of course he doesn't. Don't know why I said that.
Garnacho's never squared
I
anything.
don't know why I said squares it like he's ever squared it. There you go. United have scored 10 goals in 1.5 Carabao matches, despite only scoring 8 goals in 9 Premier League matches.
Carabao Cup Kings, yeah.
It's not a bad thing to
We
be. the
could
king
be
of it.
now.
This could be our trophy. We're the team to beat. Don't say nah, Ethan. We'll beat Newcastle in the final
Still not
again
over it.
if we have to. We'll see you there.
It's in.
Oh! Casemiro!
Casemiro!
Love that.
He loves a goal, doesn't he?
It's just, oh yeah, I thought he had a hat-trick then, but he didn't get that last one, did he?
yes.
Bloody hell.
He's just reinvented himself for United, hasn't he? He never scored this much.
Ethan's just tweeted that stat. United have scored 11 goals in 1.5 Carabao Cup matches, despite only scoring 8 goals in 9 Premier League
Was
games.
it him who headed it as well?
All right, Scotty. So we're a goal away from your prediction.
5-1, wasn't it? I said, yeah.
So, Scotty, what do you think of the game so far?
Amazing, man. I think I said before, we look like we're playing constipated football underneath Ten Hag, and now under Ruud van Nistelrooy, we're just letting everything go.
Is this what, is this what joy is? Is this what joy actually is? What is this?
Casemiro's assisted himself.
Yeah. It's a great
Via
goal.
both posts.
Does Rashford get the
No one touches it.
He's so good in the box.
You're not seeing that, have you? Casemiro assisting himself. We've had Delors doing 1-2s with the opposition. It's a new dawn.
It's a new dawn where everything goes our way and Ten Hag is fucking fuming in his living room.
I didn't know the shot looks like that, when it goes to Scotty. He actually does look like he's stuck in a walk-in wardrobe.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it
he?
is.
Thanks.
He is. He's not. We don't know where he is.
He's at a
Or
secret location.
we've got a little teller here that's got a monitor on it. Scotty's just somewhere, and he's been piped in. I think he's in the deep fjords or something like that. We don't know where he is.
He's been piped in.
He's been piped off. We've got
Christmas.
This game might be over.
Yeah.
It's over. Hopefully, famous last
And it
words.
is a Premier League club.
What's going on?
Was this my score prediction? It's not going to stay, is it?
It might.
If
be.
it is 5-1, which
not
is
with
very
Ruud ball.
possible, it's lottery number.
If we
time.
score 8 goals, I'm almost going to be annoyed.
really get it.
I'm going to be annoyed.
Don't know why I sound disappointed.
Because it just feels a bit dirty, this, doesn't
Do
it?
you think?
Yeah, it's a bit. I'm enjoying it, but it's a little bit of a disgrace, actually, what we're seeing right now. If Xerxes scores, that's it, innit?
Did you ever have a teacher
The low
that
throwing
teacher
step
that you
overs
didn't
and
like in school, Joe?
Oh yeah, plenty.
Right, so when your teacher that you didn't like in school left,
Yeah.
how did you feel? So that's what these might be
Just-
like now.
just
You know what I mean?
sad
And
that
going
I
out and
never-
enjoying themselves. You don't know what it was
Yeah.
like to work under Ten Hag. The
That's
lads
true.
out today obviously look like they're enjoying themselves. And I'm a Manchester United fan, not an Erik Ten Hag fan, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, I know, but you've got to remember that these players are still going to be playing, even if Ten Hag's gone. What will they do next time? Who knows? Was Casemiro just doing no look pass then? Shackles are off, aren't
Oh,
they?
look at that.
This is unbelievable stuff.
Never seen anything like it.
I can't believe it.
Just playing with a bit of confidence, are they? Even like the ricochets are going our way.
Rude ball in full effect, isn't it?
This is our Michael Carrick situation, isn't it?
Van Nistelrooy ball.
Are we making?
What was Carrick's record?
2 wins and a draw.
So if Ruud wins and only has one game, he'll be the most successful percentage
sure
win
that-
winning.
Someone else had.
Yep.
What was Giggs?
No, his was 2 wins, a draw and a loss, I think, in 4 games, something like that. It wasn't 100%, definitely. I think that Van Nistelrooy's probably going to get till the international break, personally. I think the fact that, assuming we win this and if it's comfortable, I think they'll go, right, okay, maybe we can...
No. There's
back
none of
Amorim.
that. None of that.
You don't think...
None of that whole game to game making little big business changes like that. It needs to be.
No,
they
but
need to have the
but
plan.
give it to Sporting
you know what I
as
mean?
part of
If
the
there's
deal.
an option
Just flipping it
of
off
giving
one game.
Sporting an extra 2 million to get him for Chelsea or waiting till the international break, do you not
I don't think
that
it
would-
hinges
that
on
would-
one Carabao Cup match
I
against
think it
Leicester.
could.
Nah. Oh my God!
It should have been.
Should have had a
Bet it.
hat-trick.
Should be 5-1. Leicester are all over the place.
Yeah, they have been bad.
How often does it find Casemiro's head in from a set
It's
piece?
ridiculous, isn't it? What is that? Is it just his runs? Like it must be.
It's his movement and his,
It has to be.
and his timing and
Because he's 6'2", and he's not like he's some absolute
No, I don't
freak
think
of
he's 6'2".
size. Is he-
6'2" is being very nice to him.
What do you think? He's 6 foot.
Probably 6 foot.
Yeah.
6 foot, 6'1" at a push, maybe 6 foot and a half.
I'm going to say,
He's not 6'2", you madman. He's 6'1".
yeah. He's 6'1" according to Wikipedia. 6'2" with studs on.
The studs that go into the ground.
Nah, not
Yeah.
on these pictures, mate. There's still a little distance between. But whatever
an
it is,
inch, you reckon?
the ball just finds his head constantly from set pieces, doesn't it? It's mad that. It'd be nice to just win comfortably, wouldn't it? I think we look like we're gonna. Updates in the other games. We have got what we got here. Let's have a look. Did you see that Brentford had to go to penalties to beat Sheffield Wednesday yesterday? And Southampton beat Stoke. Today then, Arsenal 2-0 up against Preston. We have got Tottenham.
Oh, shit.
Tottenham 1-0 up against City. Newcastle still 2-0 up against Chelsea. United obviously 4-1 up in this game. Palace and Villa drawing 1-1, and Brighton and Liverpool are 0-0 at half-time. Lovely little play there. Garnacho overlap, pulls it back to Garnacho.
Unlucky.
And just... Is it
Couldn't
go
keep
over?
it
Is it going to
down.
hit the bar?
I know
Just
Xerxes is fuming.
Why?
4-1 and he hasn't got a goal involved.
He hasn't had a shot yet, has he?
Do you know what I mean? Because he looked frustrated then, because he was on for like the kind of square there, and he went to Garnacho instead, and he kind of shrugged his shoulders.
If you're Hoyland, you're wanting to get on that pitch now, aren't you? He's on the bench, isn't he, Hoyland?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I think all the subs want to get in on the action. The thing is with the game like this is you're able to then put on the likes of like back in the Fletcher and Fitzgerald maybe can get a little bit of a kick. Don't know what happened to Collier, by the way. Is he on the bench?
I don't think he was on
Seemed
the
like he
bench,
just
was
disappeared.
Yeah, he has.
He's injured.
Hope he's not done on Malacia.
Nah. They're very rare. Do we know when Malassia's meant to be back? Has there been any rumour at all
I'm
on
sure he's back on grass.
I think
I've seen something
Such
with
a
him.
low
I saw a
bar,
thing
isn't
that-
it,
Being on
physically,
grass.
that?
I saw a thing that Malacia is like 25
Yeah.
now, and I think he was like 22 when we signed him.
It's
mental, isn't it?
What was it? Did you just say that? He's 25 now, and the last game he played he was 23?
Something mad
Yeah.
like that.
That's what it is. That's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Like simulated.
Go on then. Xerxes won the ball back high up. Keep it. Not that.
So
He just does things a second too late all the time.
Yeah.
A bit too slow.
Yeah. It's just the pace, isn't it? Leicester struggling. They've had that one shot really, haven't they? But that's basically all they've done in terms of hurting United. Not really had any kind of outlet whatsoever except that. They had a little 5-minute spell about 20 minutes ago, but other than that, it's just been... I mean, what it's been really is just an absolutely clinical set of finishes from United mostly.
Yeah.
They've had 6 shots on target and scored 4 goals. That's like, you can't ask for more than that really. Which of course was always destined to happen after how poor our finishing's been in the last 12 months.
Obviously, it's a Leicester side lower down in the league. They have made a few changes.
Yeah.
It's not, but this is what you do though. As if you're Manchester United, you're a club like this. If you're playing against weaker opposition down the league that have made changes, you need to put them to the sword, and that's exactly what we've done. You don't make a game of it. You be ruthless. You be clinical, and I think that's what we've done.
Yeah. Paddy Crone and Michael Vaughan in attendance tonight, among others. Did you spot any other famous faces in that shot there?
I can't see much, Joe.
What? Do you know what we're watching the game tonight? Yeah? Are you alright?
It's just so bright. The light.
Is that light just absolutely killing you?
It's all right though.
Have you got bad eyesight?
Just happy to be here. Yeah, I've got bad eyesight.
Have you?
No, I'm joking. I am seeing stuff.
No, but
Stars.
as a separate question, do you have bad eyesight?
Yeah.
Do you wear glasses?
On occasion, yeah.
Have you got contact lenses in now?
No.
You just ignore it.
Yeah,
Did
no,
you know? Here's a fact for you.
Go on.
People with lighter coloured eyes are more likely to need glasses.
Oh my God,
As Leicester
Jammy,
score a second.
4-2.
All our scores out the window.
Connor Cody as
Connor
well.
Cody, you know.
They're back in it.
They're-
What's going on?
What's
here?
going on in this game?
What is this
It's a
game,
very
then?
strange game.
That was absurd.
To be fair,
So
though,
it's different, isn't it? Now we
To
can
be
see
fair,
it too.
though,
All of a sudden, it's
Our Fernandes goal was fluky, so I guess they got a fluky goal back.
what even happened there?
He just hit someone and went straight into his path.
Oh.
Delon. He's gonna watch him get castrated for that. And it's
Yeah.
kind of unlucky
No,
because he thought Delitz.
Oh, he's headed onto him.
Casemiro.
Delitz headed that
It's
onto him.
You can't do
Casemiro
much about
yeah,
that, can
whoever
you?
it was,
Casemiro had it
Casemiro, I
onto
think it
No, it
was.
was Delitz. It was Delitz that headed it
Was
onto
that? I
him.
thought it was
Yeah.
Casemiro.
Delitz like flicked it and it's hit the low.
just landed at Connor Cody's feet 4 yards out. That's annoying. But also kind of in keeping with how bizarre this game's been. Like neither team have made many chances and yet 6 goals have gone in. Absolutely bizarre. Can Mamati with a super chat says, been a United fan for over 20 years and live in New York. Finally going to Old Trafford for the first time to watch the Bodo Glimt game. Any recommendations for places to go while in Manchester? We get this all the time, and we should probably make like a list that we can like actually send to people with all the places we like. In terms of around Old Trafford, there's not that many. Sort of, you can't really have a night out.
Head down a couple of hours before,
or a big
stay
day.
away otherwise.
Yeah, I would probably stay up in town a little bit more. I like Northern Quarter generally. Ronnie, any recommendations for Manchester?
Yeah, Northern Quarter, Deansgate.
Deansgate, yeah.
Should be a bit bougie.
Where's that real bougie place that you'd like to go to? Called like Saltine Cracker or like Crispy Wispies or something. What's it called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the fish place, the Summit Fish.
Yeah, that's it.
Sexy Fish.
Sexy Fish.
I don't go there.
Oh. It's an option though, isn't it?
It's an option.
I've never been.
It's an option. What's the bougiest place in Manchester, do you think? The place where, if you go in there, you're most likely to see, I don't know, let's say, Alan Sugar. Bad example. All right, sorry. Cristiano Ronaldo. If he was going out in Manchester tomorrow night, where would he go?
I don't know.
I don't know why I said Alan Sugar.
Probably
sorry,
places like, I don't know, Sexy Fish, Yours Bar, Dear Sailors, them type of places.
There you go. Try and get in one of them.
The cigar terrace at the Dakota.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds lovely. What happens if I try and get in Sexy Fish? What is my evening like?
You're fine because you have a reservation and you go in and have like anyone else.
No, I haven't got a reservation. I just want to go out.
Then they might let you in. I don't know, or they might not.
Yeah, they
It's
don't.
not that. Trust me, it's not that deep.
Is it not?
No.
Because I thought these places are sort of exclusive for the high rollers and such. Obviously not.
Depends.
Half time then, Manchester United 4, Leicester 2. A weird half where neither team made that many chances, but 6 goals have happened. Scotty, thoughts on that first half?
Seems like it's been the most exciting 45 minutes I've seen this season, but like you said there, I'm not too sure what's happened really. Like a lot of it's clinical, I think, and that's what we've been missing in front of goal under Ten Hag's management, especially this year. Great. Casemiro's first goal was a flyer, and from there, I've not got a clue what happened. Whenever Leicester are getting chances of scoring, and United are putting them away at the other end. Disappointed that I'm not going to get the 5-1 prediction, but you can't ask for anything better than that for a first half. When's the last time I scored 4 goals in the first half?
Barnsley?
Against Barnsley, yeah. I was going to say, did we even get 4 then? Was it 5 goals in the second half? I don't remember. But yeah, just looking at some of the numbers, 11 shots for United, 6 for Leicester, 6 on target for United, 4 for Leicester. Just bizarre, really. All round, some decent performances. I thought Ugarte and Casemiro generally handled that midfield battle pretty well.
For Ugarte, he's been great, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, he's been really, really good, Ugarte. He's been first to everything, he's been lively, he's been tenacious, but also when he's had the ball as well, he's been very progressive, shown a bit of his ball carrying, first time passes. I thought he's looked really, really good today. I thought
he was good in his last game.
Yeah, and he was good against Fenerbahce, I thought, as well, so maybe he's going to get a new lease of life. Obviously, Ruben Amorim is touted to come in, and he's someone that's played under him and started under him before.
Yeah. So
he might be energised or galvanised by that as well. I think United have controlled the game a lot better. I think we still have those kind of lapses defensively and looseness, but honestly, it's been 4-2 every time we've gone forward and had a bit of a breakaway. We looked like we could score against them. Leicester look obviously one of the poorer sides in the league, and they've made a few changes, but what United have done is what a big team should do, and it's punish them whenever we can, and been ruthless and been clinical and been relentless when we can have had opportunity to go forward, and I'm hoping that actually continues in the second half as well.
Yeah, you mentioned there Ugarte, just some of his numbers, won 3 tackles, recovered the ball 4 times as well. That's the most of anyone on the pitch for both of those numbers. His passing accuracy has been up at 90%. Just done a lot of good things, I think. Played the ball into the final third as well. Tom, what have you made of that first half?
It's felt like a cup game, hasn't it? Yeah. It's probably a good time for it to happen, really, because this could have happened anyway, and I think just, chance for a bit of confidence before the weekend. It's been exciting without feeling majorly exciting in between the goals. Like, it's been a lot of not much, and then, as you say, clinical. But yeah, it's a cup feeling to it. Leicester haven't been wonderful, but they have scored 2 goals. So I don't really know what to make of it.
Yeah.
It'd be different if it was in the Premier League, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah. And we're seeing it maybe a different Leicester, but United, it is this weird. And again, I almost can't believe it. We're sort of clinical above all else tonight. Like the main thing I'd say about us is how clinical we've been. And I don't know how many times in the last 12 months I would have used that word to describe a half of football. Like, it's bizarre. FBF1 Sports with a super chat. I'll get through your chats. Get in the comments as well. What a shock we can actually score now the boss has been sacked. We knew this would happen, didn't we? We all knew this would come. We said it before the game. I said it the other day. Everyone agreed. Everyone on social media. We all knew the goals would start flying in now. And it's so weird that you just... It's almost like something else takes over. And I'm not a particularly spiritual person, but you think... This was just always going to happen, wasn't it? We were going to look weirdly clinical all of a sudden. It's so weird.
Does that justify the decision then? Because you made a reference during the first half about it being a sort of somewhat dirty, because obviously we can play or we can score, but because now 10 Hag's gone.
I mean, I don't think it justifies it long term. I don't think this would last forever, and you've got to look ahead at bigger things. But I think the timing of when you do it, you not always. You're probably going to get a bit of a
reaction,
boost, especially if you let it really get bad. Like, it did get really bad, didn't it? Like, I think you're always going to see a little bit of confidence. As Tottenham score a second against Man City, by the way, which is very good news. Sarr there with the goal. FBF1 Sports, following up from his previous super chat, said, this has honestly annoyed me more considering how last game went. It's just baffling to me, really, how these sort of impossible things are so predictable and then they happen anyway. Mindcracker says, if any of you lads slightly disappointed on the inside that we won't be giving Ruud a real run at it, even if it's just an emotional choice. No. I would like it. I would like a world where Ruud van Nistelrooy was a really successful manager for United. That would be great. But I don't think it's a particularly sensible thing to try and make happen right now. Do you?
I didn't want Solskjaer to get the job when he was made permanent manager. I just thought it was I appreciated him for the time that he was there, and it was great, but I didn't think it was sensible long term. And I was kind of really disappointed when they decided to. It just felt like such a reactionary thing to give him the job. So with Ruud, I know he's obviously been a manager for a year already. He needs to go and make his career, doesn't he, away from United at this point, because it's too early.
I know a Dutch Cup is equivalent or maybe even slightly better than winning the Norwegian league. I know there's different things, but Solskjaer had more experience as a manager, had won a league title with a team that had never won a league title before. So it's not like Van Nistelrooy's CV is even much better, if any, than Solskjaer's was. So it would be, I think, a little bit silly to give him the job, even if it was 10, 15 impressive games. But in a dream world, it'd be amazing for a former legend to be managing United to success, wouldn't it? Come on, we all want that. Fulltime Production says, with Ten Hag gone, the players are now 100% responsible. Fans and the media will now give them no excuses. The survivors will thrive. The weak shall fall. I love phrases like proper Star Wars. The weak shall fall.
That sounded like that guy that used to narrate the X Factor.
Yeah. The weak shall fall.
Yeah.
Taron Camplin. No one knows who he is. He's literally never...
Was he just a voice?
I don't think he was real, yeah. Maybe he was just an early AI. Taron Camplin says, Looney.
Ah, lovely.
Love that, don't you?
Yeah.
Makes you feel really nice, that. Better than a goal going in, probably?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I knew it was. Get your thoughts in the comments. A fool named Huggy says, watch it be a dull second half now. I'd take a dull second half. I'm just here for the win. I don't need it to be some absolute battering and United are sort of back on track. Let's just win the game. It's a cup match. This isn't like goal difference doesn't count. Let's just win the game. Akshit Raj, should I say, says Ten Hag has really killed United for me. Blimey. Some of these players are just survivors and don't care about the club one bit. I don't know. And here's the other thing. Do you think the team that won that first league title for Man City in 2012, do you think any single one of those players dreamed about playing and winning the league for Man City? Almost none of them did. Sergio Aguero probably had never heard of Man City when he put the ball in the back of that net for them to win the league title. He probably had never heard of him until he was about 23 years old. Not every player who plays for your club cares about them, loved them before, supported them before. it's that mentality, it's the winning feeling, it's the sort of the dressing room and the manager and the environment that people fall in love
want
with.
it for themselves, haven't they?
Yeah, and you want it for yourself as well, exactly.
So you said you'd take a boring second half. Would you take like a 6-3?
Yeah.
Just so like it's.
That is
because then at the end of it, you've scored 6, one played better, but then you've conceded 3 goals. It's just like this game just felt manic.
Let's just see some goals. It does feel a little bit manic. It feels like someone like I don't even know. It just like you just come out of a long-term relationship and they're just going for it, innit? Like just goals galore, anything goes. Who cares?
I think in this kind of game, you just want to see a couple of the players that really need it have some confidence.
It'd be nice to see Xerxes get a goal.
So Xerxes, Ahmad to come on and maybe do something, because we don't know what the new manager is going to think of these players, and they looked a bit down recently.
Yeah. Well, if you are feeling down, Vidal Gutierrez here sent in a super chat that's a lovely little joke. What do you call a funny football manager? Ten Hag.
Too soon.
Too soon, that.
It's far too
yeah,
soon.
Actually,
that silence guy is deserved.
You can have your £2 back, but just ban him. Mods, if you can get in, you just ban Vidal, please. That's disgusting, actually. Sorry, I shouldn't have read that out. It's actually quite good. I'm going to give that a like. RJ says, has anyone confirmed how good Amorim's Dutch is? Yeah, hopefully it's pretty good because he's got a lot of Dutch players he needs to speak to. Hugh Grant. We don't know. It could be that Hugh Grant.
The Heretic.
Who's been a member.
Is that the new thing coming
That's a new one, yeah.
Is it his new horror film where he's like, oh, come into my house, it's all...
And I'll lock you both in it.
Yeah. It's a classic, isn't it? Did you used to watch horror films as a kid?
Horror films are actually my favourite genre.
Really?
Interesting enough.
Fan.
No, I'm not.
Because I
don't
need
see the point.
I need like constant stimulus. And quite often, horror films don't always, especially modern day ones, they don't have great writing or storylines, but I need that sense of like suspense and like dread or like fear to keep me a little bit intrigued. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I can get a little bit bored watching things, but also like other genres like psychological thrillers as well.
I love a psychological thriller.
Do you?
So
yeah.
What's a good example of a psychological thriller that you love? Except obviously watching Manchester United, which is pretty psychological.
Do you know this isn't even the best example, but I've just got the Runaway Jury in my mind.
I've never seen that.
It's just it's very fast paced and there's a bit of a cover up and stuff, and it's.
Yeah, I love all that. Sorry, Hugh. We never even read your super chat. Sorry, Hugh.
I think people's
Can I get to Hugh super chat,
people's
please?
default is a psychological thrillers like Shutter Island.
Shutter Island.
Yeah. Shutter Island.
Good.
I'm just thinking of a thriller, not a psychological thriller. Thrillers. Yeah.
Oh, come on then.
Sorry, Hugh.
Has anyone watched Seven?
Yes,
Yeah.
I watched it
watched
2
it.
weeks ago. That's very good. We hardly scored 4 all season, and today we scored 4 in one half. Very frustrating. Wish they'd done it for Ten Hag. There's going to be a lot of this.
You can always do this in a cup, though.
Yeah, we did do it. We did score
Carabao
7
Cup,
against Barnsley's. Wayne Davies said the players look like a weight has been taken off their shoulders. Even Rashford was smiling at one point. That's life these days, isn't it? Kaz Mofo, these players are confusing. Tired of it. Bittersweet match so far. Excited for what's to come. And FPL Mickle says, haven't watched. New style or Ten Hag style with tweaks? I would say Ten Hag style with tweaks, to be honest. It's not looked particularly different from the first half against West Ham at the weekend, really. I don't think it's been radically different. Maybe some little nudges here and there. What do you think?
Yeah, well, you just nitpicked one half though, out of the whole 10 years.
I'm not nitpicking anything.
Yeah, it's different from one half.
Do you think that was the most recent game? Do you think he's asking, has it been any different to what we've seen under Ten Hag in terms of tactics and sort of how we've played? Do you think it has?
I feel like the midfield pairing of Casemiro and Ugarte have played closer together.
Okay.
I think the positioning of Delo's been quite different. It almost looked like Delo's played extremely high as a right winger and pushed Rashford a little bit further inside, whereas on the other side, Garnacho stayed wide and provided an outlet in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the press has been pretty good, especially with, off ball losses or when we've counter pressed.
Yep.
I think we've caught them. I think they've also been poor building out, which has helped us, and I think we've capitalised on that. I think there's been a little bit. It's more not even tactical. I think there's been a bit of an energy shift. quite often happens once a manager goes and there's a bit of that bounce of energy and that kind of resurgence. I feel like we've seen that.
Yeah.
There's been a little bit more of a spirit in the performance than I've seen.
Yeah, there is a likeness to them, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I think you were saying during the first half, Ronnie, about how Delors always gets his critics, for the mistakes he makes. But I thought he had a really good first half. I don't think he was at fault for their goal. He could do nothing about it. But the cross that he got in for Garnacho's goal, you were talking earlier on about Amorim wanting not wing backs but defensive wingers. It looks like that he's ready made for that role, really.
Yeah, I think he could do that. And to be honest, with Luke Shaw and Malassia's injury record, he's probably going to have to
on both sides.
So he's playing left and right wing back. But I think he will. I think he can do that job personally.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's 45 minutes of football, so it's kind of hard to make a.
And it was boring up until Casemiro bangs that in out of nowhere. So it's
hard to make a definitive statement on like style, etc. We'll obviously learn more in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. And also, this is all going to change when the new manager comes in as well, isn't it? This game is just about winning this game for so many reasons. It's not the new manager, it's a cup game. Like, how come also Carabao using the most early 2000s looking graphics?
It looks like a
Sky Barclay,
really dated, isn't it?
Yeah, real Barclays Premiership stuff, that, innit?
I like it.
I like it as well. Very nice.
I almost thought I was watching Premier League years.
It did feel like it, didn't it? What was that? There's something about that font, and do you know what it had as well? It had that like 3D kind of bubble kind of effect that you don't really see these days. That was lovely. Do you remember that when computers could all of a sudden do like bubble writing? So everything was like shiny and bubble writing, and there's like water droplets dripping off everything, and it's all steamy. And then we realised maybe you don't need that. I'll go through some of the other scores then. Liverpool are beating Brighton 1-0. Actually 2-0 make that this second. Gakpo's just scored a second. Different things. Villa and Palace still 1-1. United obviously 4-2. Newcastle 2-0 up against Chelsea. Big first half there for them. Isaac and Disasi with an own goal. Tottenham still 2-0 up against City. And Arsenal are 2 goals up against Preston. I would like to win this title, and personally, I think I know that if Amorim comes in the next sort of 2 or 3 weeks, he's still going to have a long, stint at this season. And bizarrely, even though it feels like we should be, we're not actually that far off the European places in the Premier League. We're currently sat on 11 points. Villa in 4th are on 18 points, so we're 7 points behind them. But to get up into that sort of 6th and 7th spot, we're only 5 points off it. So it's not as though it's, European football is beyond us. But I still think it's a route to silverware in European football.
We're only a couple of points behind Tottenham as well, aren't we?
Yeah.
Literally
a couple of points behind Tottenham, yeah. So we're not really a million miles away. We're 1 point behind Newcastle, 2 behind Tottenham. You'd assume Forest will drop off at some point. They're in 7th as it stands. So if you're Ruben Amorim, are you looking at this thinking, please win this, because it gives me a chance of some silverware in my first season here?
On for a treble.
Yeah. Which treble? Which one? Because we've still got 4 options.
We've still got 4.
Well, we might
that's
win
very optimistic.
The league isn't, yes, we're 12 points off top, but it's stranger things happen. So we could be for 4. A quadruple, really, aren't we? Let's be honest. The second half has kicked off. Then I'm going to allow everyone. I don't normally do this, but because these are very much extreme circumstances, I'm going to allow you an updated score prediction. Okay. So
I'd like to stick with mine, please.
What was yours?
4-1.
4-1.
I'll
sticking with that. You could still be closest. Closest wins 200 grand. Remember that.
Go on, I'll get 7. Is 7-3 outrageous?
7-3 is outrageous. But
7-3.
Ronnie, updated score prediction, please.
I'm going 6-3.
Scotty, updated score prediction.
I'm going to go 8-3.
I'm going to.
Why not? I thought 5 was ludicrous. Anything's on the cards now.
I'm going to go 5-4.
On that, I was going to be ludicrous for Halloween.
Will you?
Said ludicrous.
Have you got a party coming up, or have you already been?
I'm going to somewhere in London.
Nice.
And you got to dress up, and I thought I wanted to be something simple, so I was going to either be ludicrous.
Yeah.
Because he said that, or I was going to be Nelly. Because if I'm Nelly, all I need is either a tennis headband and a bit of tape.
Piece of piss, that actually.
Do you know what I mean? I know. All I need is a white t-shirt and my jeans being slightly baggy and denim. Which
also, is there not an element though of Shouldn't there be a horror element to this rather than just a fancy dress element?
Zombie
You
Nelly.
know full well everyone does Halloween like in a fancy dress way. A lot of people don't do the
There was a
scary
shift
element.
because
Yeah.
it used to be,
Especially the girl-
It
especially
changed a
women.
bit, didn't it?
It used to be. It's meant to be scary, isn't
Yeah.
it, historically? But these
They
days
just threw it out the window.
people just go as like a petit filou or something.
Yeah,
don't they?
like for example, I know a girl
Something
that
truly
told me
delicious.
she's going as a strawberry.
Yeah, what's scary about that? Unless you're one of the hundreds of thousands of infants across this country who are allergic to strawberries.
Yeah.
So one of the many that people tend to grow out of. Scotty,
You grow out of allergy.
Well, I'm not,
loads of kids are allergic to all sorts of shit. They grow out of it mostly.
I went to a Halloween party at the weekend. It was,
Did you?
Yeah.
What, the one just gone?
Yeah. Well, it was a kids' one, and I thought all the parents were going to dress up.
Oh, no.
And they didn't, and it was just me. And I basically put all like a axe murder with a green face. I've all blood all down there. I had to wear a coat for the afternoon.
Oh, that's embarrassing, isn't it? Hello. It's quite warm. Do you want to take your jacket off?
Yeah.
No, thanks.
No, man.
Good. Very good. Very good. K. Gwyn Records says if Ronaldo Brown enjoys dread and suspense, he will have enjoyed being a United fan for the last 10 years. Maybe that's why you like horror films, because it sort of echoes your other hobbies, like watching Man United.
It's all you know.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with it.
agreement.
Leicester have started the second half well. Ball into the box. Ooh.
Oh my God.
Shot here for Leicester, blocked by Casemiro. And now United going to try and
Is that for
counter-attack.
Shinners?
Is Ahmad come on?
No,
Is that Rashford?
it's Rashford.
Oh, he had the little sort of mini jog that Ahmad normally does. Oh, Ugate's proving you wrong, isn't
He's
Made you look a twat.
he's
Yeah, no, I like that because that's what people say. I think Ugarte
been penalised.
man of the match today,
he? Yeah, he's been really good.
which is, and it's not one of that. I think he's been platformed to his strengths today. There's been a clear double pivot with him and Casemiro, and it's allowed him to kind of like be set loose and free with his aggressive pressing and tenacity, and he's been effective with that.
I think he's like you mentioned before, the Fred comparison. He's a sort of Fred with a bit more composure. I think the thing that Fred's energy and work rate, and even sometimes his kind of pressing instincts, I thought were really good, but his decision making and his sort of composure, I just thought the amount of times I saw him hitting the ball from 20 yards out and it's going 20 yards wide. I think if we could have someone with that work rate and energy, but with a bit more of a, I don't know, like Bruno's got that, like you always mentioned, that sort of bozo gene at times where he'll just do something silly. Fred had that as well.
He's like a puppy, wasn't he, the way he ran
Yeah,
around
he was
Fred,
a
whereas
bit.
Ugarte seems a little bit more like an older dog who can sort of
Yeah,
control things.
yeah, exactly. Yes. A few mid-level fans in here this eve. Interesting, according to Kez. Max TT says, no doubt Ten Hag will win again, but in the Dutch league, and who cares about that league? Really just having a
Having a shot for no reason. Isn't it?
Having an absolute pop. That was a weird pass from Rashford.
worked.
Somehow that pass worked. What was a hopeful kind of flick inside. And again, we've got a bit more luck there. Oh, almost. Yeshua is Lord says, Ten Hag will go elsewhere. This was the precursor to the message I just read. I should have read this one first. Ten Hag will go elsewhere and will win things. The players let him down. They failed to do their job at a basic level. We are a mid-table team. And that's got 10 likes. There you go. A full name Huggy says, this needs to stop quick. Stop with this sketchy opening 5 minutes of the second half. We do seem to do that, don't we?
It seems very common, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we've won the game already, kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Just don't control games very well, do we?
No, we don't.
How do you think Amorim will do for the transition between leagues, from Portugal to the Premier League? Whereas you don't really see, obviously Slot's doing pretty well at Liverpool, but Dutch managers historically don't do that great in England, whereas we've got Portuguese managers, obviously Jose be the big one, and Villa-Boas, who probably wasn't a great success. Nuno did well at Wolves.
Yeah. It's I don't know, the Portuguese league seems to sort of punch above its weight a little bit in terms of translating to other leagues. I think with transfers as well.
Yeah.
Like when you consider the amount of Portuguese teams that go far in European competitions, it's not usually very much. And yet it's not hard to think of successful transfers from that league in terms of managers and players. So I'm hopeful that will help. But You just don't know, do you? And sometimes I think one of the problems we saw with Ten Hag, and you used to say this quite a lot, Ronaldo, or correct me if I'm misquoting you, but like sometimes what works in like his tactics required your team to be the best team in the league. And when it is, it can control games and batter the opposition. But it's asking a lot of every individual player all the time. You're having to make difficult passes and
it's high risk.
It's very high risk. And unless your team is like probably man for man one of the best in the league, we're always going to have these problems where we concede a lot of chances in games and stuff. Hopefully that isn't the case with Amorim, because if he needs the best team in the league to do really well, he's not going to have it. I think that was an issue Jose had. Getting that team to second, I think that was probably the best that team could manage. 81 points is about the limit of that squad. And he needs to have a team that can get 90 points because that's just what he is. So, I don't know. What do you think, Ron? Do you think his style requires us to be a phenomenal team, or do you think he can just improve us?
That was exactly it.
Yeah.
I think his philosophy and style that he did implement at United kind of lacked a bit of consideration for the quality in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I think that's what caught him out, because it's not quite the talent disparity that you have managing Ajax.
No.
That was his undoing last season for me. Okay, he had a ridiculous amount of injuries, but he wasn't able to do anything at all with what he had. If you can't score goals, you don't stop conceding and taking so many shots, and at least shut up shop and make it hard to be beat. Yeah. But he had no other option at all, or any alternative strategy.
It just felt though. I mean, how far do you want to go back? Because obviously we were a very defensive team, difficult to watch under Mourinho.
Yeah.
You make the change and Solskjaer comes in, and the best we really looked under Ollie was playing without the ball. Sometimes, such low numbers of percentages of having the ball, and the weakest we were was these games at home where you're expected to have the ball and I thought I was in, and we really, really struggled to break teams down.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'd have that horrible thing where unless we were able to play on the counter attack, we couldn't really make chances.
And sometimes I think people forget, because it's this way of playing was never it was never going to be successful. It was never going to get us closer to where we needed to be. Ten Hag, whatever his plan was, didn't work.
No.
We move on and
yeah, I think Ten Hag had the ideas of a top manager, and I do think he understands football in the modern way at the top level. But I just think it was too unforgiving on a squad that didn't quite have the quality. I think that it was asking a lot of everyone at all times, and when the players weren't necessarily ready to do that, and you can't just always buy the best players in. It's not like, we'd have to redo the whole squad. I think if he'd have took over at City, I think you'd have seen a lot more success. Ten Hag, straight from Ajax to City or whatever, I think he could have maybe even carried on, not to the same level, but challenging for titles and doing that sort of thing with that team. But I think the team that he brought in and the team that he left just was never quite there. He never got that midfield maestro that he wanted in De Jong. We never got close to anyone like that on the pitch. Eriksen was the nearest we got, and his legs weren't quite there. We never got a goal scorer for him. No one you could really rely on to score goals from the middle of the pitch. That was never really found in the 2 years he was here. Yeah. And I think without those sorts of things, he was always going to really struggle to win.
Our best players as well now, our go-to players, our match winners, probably as weak. They're at a level that's probably about as weak as it's been.
Yeah.
And it's been a dodgy start. Sorry.
No, go on.
Yeah, these last 10 minutes, it's been all Leicester, really, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's been all Leicester this half.
Yeah.
I was hoping that we put the game to bed so that we can have the bring some Carrington lads on.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Ruud out.
Is he hurt himself there? Yeah. Second half, it's been all Leicester really. Which isn't ideal. Corner to Leicester, ball in. Glanced over to the back post. Now United can try and break out a little bit. I don't know, the pass is here. That's good from Dallo though.
It's composure.
Nice.
Yeah, it is. Because when you actually think what he's got to do, he's got no pass on at all, and he's got to think in his head, I need to get out of this without even the possibility of playing the ball forward. And he just chops inside and finds a pass and does well. But it's not easy, just even little things like that you take for granted. It is difficult, isn't it? Just trying to play the ball out from the back, letting Leicester push up on us. Bit of space there on the right. That's good. Who's that? Dallo again. Go on then. Go on then. Oh, Xerxes on him.
There,
He did well there, the keeper.
Early.
The keeper
That might happen.
The keeper looks so uncomfortable there, innit? With that dummy that he did.
Yeah. He did the right thing, but it looked a bit stiff, didn't it?
He looked very stiff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He had a bit of the Joe Hart's under Pepper bound in him, where he's like, I've got to start doing stuff with my feet. And it worked, but I was
But it's
absolutely
just not me.
terrified the whole time. City pulled one back against Tottenham. Nunes. Is that not his first goal for City, is it? Obviously.
Didn't he score a penalty the other day?
Oh, yeah. You know it's bad when they start giving you penalties. Oh, nice little touchdown there from Martinez. Man on. Well done.
Like,
That's good.
like what Havertz got when he went the first 10, 11 games without scoring.
Yeah.
Missing sitters, so they gave him a pennant at the earliest opportunity.
That was Forlan as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Didn't Anthony get a penalty recently, last season?
Yeah.
Garnacho, back to Bruno. Xerxes.
Go on,
on.
Xerxes!
Lucky.
Great
Tame.
move, though.
It was a good move. Well done, Garnacho. Xerxes. Just have another one.
Yeah,
there.
that's a bit of a lash.
Anthony's penalty was Barnsley.
That was it, yeah. It's a bit of a kiss of death, that, innit? Right. You know what? You have it, kiddo. You take this one. Ruffle
Bit
his
sensual,
hair.
that.
You have this. No, not because it's not patronising. It's not patronising. I just think you've got the best chance of scoring.
You've got it in you, lad.
Yeah. You go on, lad. Kid, hey, take the penalty, will you? Go on. You're the best penalty taker in the whole world.
Like, walk over to... Oh. Do you know what I mean?
Go on, lad.
Go on.
You're
It's in the ground that Casemiro's covered today, though.
I know. He's doing the lot. He's great when he's not bad. Isn't he?
No, you're right.
It's not like a wrong statement
You've put it
said.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely right.
But do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is the case with Casemiro more than most. He's never just like, oh, he's been all right today. It's either like he's doing this where he's doing everything and winning headers in the opposition box, maybe scoring, creating chances, or he's like getting walked past by one of the opposition players' like most average dribblers. Like it's always one or the other.
Either switched on or switched off.
He's looked great today. Lucky. Go on then, Bruno's in here. Bruno's in. You got to score. You got to score. Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, did he go near post?
Right, there you go. Good stuff from
We're on to
Bruno
7.
Fernandes there. And that's good as well. 'cause
He's went straight to the subs.
Yeah, he has. Because for 12 of the 13 minutes of the second half, United have been the second best team. And then the last 90 seconds, we've had 2 decent chances and scored a goal.
2 midfielders on that trick.
Yeah.
Just
Probably
a little bit of
a
counter press.
Yeah.
Forced him into mistake.
Yeah.
It's a poor mistake.
Lost it.
It is a poor
It's a shocking bass.
Went to get it back.
That's
It's
terrible.
Shocking pass
He
back.
does really well, Bruno.
Ball
Yeah,
roll.
nice.
Inside and just proper 5-a-side goal that in it by the
I
time.
thought he was going to square that then.
Yeah, no, I'm glad
Just
Who
to
was
be
it to?
disrespectful.
Oh, no, was it
Xerxes.
Who could he have given a goal to?
Xerxes.
Was it?
Oh, you know what? I bet fucking Jamie Redknapp will tell us why he's a shit captain because he should have given Xerxes a goal there.
Can't
You know
risk
what?
it. There was a player on the line.
No, a proper
Brawling.
captain would have helped his teammate there. That's a disgrace that he scored that, Bruno Fernandes. You got Joshua
Fucking hell.
Xerxes,
No
can't hit a
keeper,
barn door.
no keeper 1 yard out, and he decided to score for himself.
It's embarrassing.
You know, do you think Brian Robson would have done that? Or something like that,
Yeah,
I would
something
say.
like that.
Or Roy Keane.
No, that was really good. There's Sir Alex Ferguson there. That's one of the most zoomed in cameras I've ever seen because the cameraman's breath is making that wobble all over the place, wasn't it? That's one of them like absolute telephoto
really
lenses.
He wasn't comfortable with that shot, was
That's
he?
It looked like it was in 240p or something.
No, that's a camera at the very edges of its limits. That's
Yeah.
probably from the other side of the stadium with that shot. Good little block there.
Is it
Ugarte,
Ugarte? Yeah.
his energy is looking...
He's been really good, hasn't he?
He has. Go on, can you find that pass? That's not a bad one. I'll take that.
Go
Good
on,
ball.
lad.
Garnacho, chip it back post.
It's better.
No, there's
Well
a bit
done.
of Garnacho that wanted to
Sleeve.
shoot.
Look at this counter.
Garnacho there.
Look at this
Did you see
counter.
Garnacho there with the Casemiro slide tackle?
Yeah.
Get down
2 days
nice
early.
and early. Yeah. This one's coming in the post. Slide tackle.
It's
and
got a second class postage stamp on it. Do you know what I mean? On the slide.
That's very nice. Steve Cooper. I know I always ask you this, and you mentioned it before, but he used to be your manager, your coach.
Yes, yeah. When I was
Under 14s at
under
Liverpool?
14s gaffer, yeah.
What was he like as a person? tactically, as a manager, motivator? What was he like?
Nah, very, very good
Was
coach. Very good manager. One of my favourites, actually. Not surprised he's had the career arc that he has had.
Yeah. It's mad that. Did it feel weird when you first saw him like managing at the top level, thinking?
Nah, because there's a few. Because he's been Fingy's assistant for years, and he was my under-16s manager.
Who's that?
Pep Linders.
And who's assistant?
He's at Red Bull now.
Yeah.
But he was Klopp's assistant, like first team coach.
So proper top level guys then.
Then under 15, 16s was Michael Beale.
What's he doing?
He went and managed QPR, Rangers. Yeah.
What was he like?
He was.
Because he's
I'm not
a bit of a character, isn't he?
All my managers, all the coaches were good. There's what I will say. There's a lot of very, very good coaches and gaffers that are in academies, and they kind of make their way there, and then they obviously step up when they have the opportunity. And the same thing will probably happen to Adam Lawrence, who deserves a shout out. The under 18s manager from Manchester United, who's done exceptionally well for him the last 3 years, and made United 18s probably the best coached youth team in
England.
Yeah. And I think Adam Lawrence will probably have a career now where he kicks on and finds his way as a first team.
He'll certainly
coach.
get given opportunities, won't he, at different levels.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the coaches you mentioned there have either ended up at sort of Championship or League One. Like where were Forest doing the Championship when Cooper took over?
Yeah. Struggling.
Palace have pushed ahead against Villa 2-1, and Brighton have got one back against Liverpool. Adingra with the goal there. That's 2-1 as well now.
A lot of tight games, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could knock Liverpool out, wouldn't it? That'd be lovely.
Who's Mazraoui come on for?
Mazraoui and Ahmad came on for Rashford and Lisandro Martinez just a minute ago. Yeah, so I guess it's just a straight swap in it because Martinez was playing left back. Leicester just picking up where they left off. I wouldn't mind this, if United can just be a clinical team. You got
man.
Fucking
magnet today,
He's been brilliant today. He's been so good. Every time that we win the ball back, you're like, who's that? It's Ugarte. He's been really good. Garnacho.
He's not passing. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I actually don't mind it. I don't mind that bit about him.
No, it's the thing. I keep saying this with Garnacho is, I'm glad he plays like that. I just wish we had someone who could play it instead of him sometimes that could get us goals.
No,
he plays like a 20-year-old who's
a bit
learning
scruffy,
his
isn't he?
But we could do with a more polished player in front of him in the squad.
But he's very he gets himself in goal scoring opportunities so often. He's got a bit of a knack for it. I did think his ceiling, Garnacho's ceiling, is one of those wingers where he gets 20-25 goals a season somehow. Because and it's just down to his mentality and his relentlessness, especially in his attacking. I don't think though he's like someone that should be starting week in, week out for us though, if we're gonna challenge for things.
Yeah, not yet. Anyway,
not yet. I think Garnacho now should be just a squad player, but we just don't have the quality
because it's like you've got to take a step back, haven't you? It's like replace him like it's not
it's like
really what you want to do.
Ideally, you'd have someone like just looking around the league, like a human Son ahead of him, and Garnacho plays.
It's meant to be
35
Rashford.
games a season.
But
because he can play both wings. It's the problem is the lack of. Rashford's all right, Ahmad's okay.
Sorry.
And he almost just scored a bicycle kick because I said he's okay as well. No, it's good that.
That would have been nice.
It was a little bit Homer Simpson that. That was unbelievable. But yeah, Ahmad, is he better than Garnacho or Rashford?
That went in, I would have took off the roof.
He connects well with it as well.
As well, isn't it? I really like Ahmad.
I
think when I watch him, he looks like I don't know. Technically, he looks better than Garnacho.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. Maybe Alaxi doesn't have that same confidence. Doesn't really back himself, but.
He doesn't have the energy, does he, of Garnacho? But he retains the ball a hell of a lot
he's
more.
So good in tight spaces, like
he's low centre of gravity and stuff. I was really surprised how little he's played this year. To be honest, I thought given the pre-season that Ten Hag might have used him more.
A bit there.
Ugarte just got.
I thought that was
done there. Well done, Casemiro. Well done, lad. Liverpool have scored.
Ugarte injured?
No,
injured himself there.
He's hurt himself. I don't think he's injured. I don't know. He's limping.
Limping. Gimpy.
Oh, what a
save.
Very good save there from
great effort
by India. One of them, just to classic diving save, that one. That'd have been nice, that. Just a fingertip save. I don't want to downplay it, but...
He dug it out very nicely.
Wow, very good save.
Strike.
Yeah. Hope Ugarte's alright. He's limping quite badly.
Did Ahmad not think the keeper saved that?
I don't know.
Because he kind of let the ball run out of play just then.
Yeah, Ugarte's looking a bit... Oh, well done. Keep the ball. Yeah, he's... Something's hurting. Hopefully he's not injured.
Good set.
Come on.
Yeah, I love that.
We are playing a lot better on the ball.
Yeah, we're looking good. Go on, Nacho. Bruno.
Don't shoot.
Little chippy to Ahmad. Good touch.
Back post.
Right, someone run near post now. Who's going to get on the end of that?
Oh.
Oof.
Mazraoui into Bruno, edge of the box. Out to Garnacho.
Reckon
Go
he's
past
gonna-
him, pull it back.
He's going to shoot.
Yeah, go on. No, he's not. He's let it back to Bruno, who's hit it.
Oh,
right
is it
in
Mazraoui in the
chin.
face? Yeah.
That was a miss. Okay, no, man. Good thing he's not Amir Khan.
That's harsh. That's really harsh. You try getting punched in the face by a world champion boxer. See if you get knocked out occasionally.
Very good.
Okay, no.
He's gone for the old glass chin there. Rough stuff, that running.
That was pretty harsh.
I expect better from you, you know. Unbelievable. No, to be fair, it's good. He's offside there, surely.
I'm not sure.
No, the low loves the running behind, isn't it?
Yeah, what's that about? He keeps doing that, doesn't he? He keeps being like on the last man, getting the ball played over
Backs
the top
himself,
to him.
doesn't he, to
Yeah, he does.
cover the entire pitch.
Yeah, and now look, there he is. Look, not covering it. On the way
Yeah.
back. There he
Not
is.
covering the pie he needs.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
said he backs
Making
himself.
Casemiro have to play out of position. Yeah, he backs himself. He did say he did it. It's two very different things. He was linked with United, wasn't he? Is that? Yeah, Boubacar Simari. Pretty sure he was linked with United.
It's a very good save. That's behind him.
Yeah, it was a good save. Let's get another goal. Bayendier there making his mark, seeing if he can get a start. He must be a bit good because I know he could become the first choice keeper, but he's one of the few players in the squad who is going to struggle to get into Amorim's plans in it, no matter how well he plays.
Sometimes it's nice to have a settled second goalkeeper though that's just decent.
Like Romero, that was good for a while, wasn't it? Until his wife. Do you remember that? She said that he was basically being like held hostage by Man United and stuff because he wanted to leave and we wouldn't let him.
But they didn't. He wasn't even second choice at
No, I
that time,
think at
though,
that
wasn't
point, it did get a bit weird. To be fair, I don't blame her or him necessarily.
I was a bit annoyed when he got dropped for the semi-final, the FA Cup semi-final, when De Gea was struggling for
Was this
form.
the Leicester game that we
Chelsea.
lost? Oh, Chelsea.
And De Gea, he dropped a couple in the net.
Oh, yeah.
And Romero had been flawless in the FA Cup.
Yeah, and he'd been the cup keeper as
Yeah.
well, hadn't he?
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
Ale He, or Ale He, says, I don't know if I'm saying He,
come on.
it's just the word he. Wait, one sec. Okay, on a second. Bruno Fernandes. Back to Ahmad. He's had a shot from there. Ale He says, Ten Hag to go to Man City after Pep and win the lot. I don't think he'll get that job now, personally. Rahil Amin says, in my opinion, Ten Hag lacked common sense sometimes. For instance, if you're leading in a game, manage it and don't keep attacking. His player management was poor as well. I think I've read that one before. Nick Collins says, and this is just a bit of sort of technical advice. It says, anyone watching on Sky Glass TV, restart it or the puck, and it should fix any issues you're having. Did it with mine, and it's come back now, which is nice. So if anyone's having any tech issues with their Sky Glass, just restart it, and that should fix any issues. So that goes with a lot of things as well. Doc Rock, fam, when was the last time we scored a nickel bag of goals? This feels great, but at the same time, I'm sad for Ten Hag. Now that's a sentence, isn't it? That
Yeah, no.
that's an American sentence if ever I've heard it. I love that. I'll read that again. Fam, when was the last time we scored a nickel bag of goals? Brilliant. Brighton have scored against Liverpool. Back to 3-2 now. Lamptey with the goal. And who we got here? Johnny Evans and Rasmus Højlund coming on for United. It should be game over now, shouldn't it? When did Coventry start getting those goals back in the FA Cup semi-final? Was it before this?
Yeah.
We were 3-0 up in that game. Yeah, Johnny Evans. It is just Johnny Evans in Holland, isn't it? Yeah, it's the 71st minute now. We're in 71-28, and Coventry got their first goal back in that game in the 71st minute. So it's not over yet. We're still capable of conceding 3 goals. How mad would it have been if they'd have scored that 4th goal that was almost a goal, and we'd have lost 3-0 up against Coventry?
Stuff like that could have just, it's almost like changed time, don't it?
Yeah. That would have been like remembered forever, that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of the most.
It'd have probably been announced that he was leaving at the end of the season after that game.
After that game, yeah.
On the Monday.
Yeah, probably. Like that would have been one of the great FA Cup matches of all time, wouldn't it? A Championship team coming from 3 goals down against United.
And they had the moment, didn't they? For like 30 seconds.
What was it, like 8 centimetres offside or something?
No, it wasn't even. It was so close. It was like
just nothing, was it?
It was absolutely nothing.
Mad, wasn't it? Garnacho's coming off for Hoyland. Who came off for Evans? I missed that. Did anyone see? Sorry? Delict.
He's not putting any of the YGs on still.
Maybe 10 minutes at the
youngsters.
end. It'd be nice to maybe give.
I don't mind that. I think players need it, don't they?
Ruud's moment in the sun, though, isn't it? I might only get this opportunity of managing United once. I'm going to bring in youngsters, and I'm going to go on Hoyland and get me some more goals, make it an emphatic victory.
Yeah,
make it 7.
This is going on my CV.
Yeah. I've got to get a job after this.
Yeah.
I thought he fouled him there.
He didn't really.
But it looked like an unnecessary one where he could have just controlled.
It's a great ball.
Just controlled it.
That was sort of Michael Carrick to Chicharito against Chelsea kind of past that one.
Very good.
Mazraoui. Back to Casemiro. Just open his body up. Holding there, holding it up well. This is nice, isn't it?
Started playing again.
Good bit of energy, yeah.
Just cross it.
I think.
No play.
Oh, nice.
Ahmad.
Ooh,
I think
that was a nice bit of play.
Whoever the next manager is, I think one thing they need to instill in the team is not being scared to not have the ball. Because it feels like, not that we should give up possession regularly, but it feels like whenever the opposition has possession against us, we look like they're going to score. Like, I think the top teams, there'll be times where City don't have all the ball, they'll have 65% possession or whatever, which means for a good chunk of the game they don't have the ball, but they don't look terrified. Like, these 2 and 3 goals that we concede in quick succession is such a mentality thing where we just shit ourselves. We need to get more used to not having the ball and it not being an issue. Because in this game, for most of the second half, Leicester have had a lot of the ball, but it hasn't quite felt the same level of like panic that we've seen. Maybe that's just some of the pressure being alleviated. But
sometimes I think when we've not got the ball, tactically the way we were set up, it was like we're still 1 interception away from scoring ourselves.
Yeah.
And so you're almost retaining that shape of, well, hang on a minute, this is how we score.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think...
Rather than just sitting in and just saying, look, for 10 minutes we just don't concede.
We don't mind this, yeah. Yeah, because that's a good point, actually. Because counter-pressing and winning the ball quickly was such a big way of scoring. But what game was it? It was the Brighton game. Do you remember that second goal they scored where the whole back post was empty? Because we're
thinking about, we're going to get a winner here.
Yeah, we're going to counter-attack from their corner and win.
Such poor game management.
Yeah, it is. That is a problem of, like... being obsessed with counter-pressing is that you almost think of them having the ball as you having a chance. Yeah, that's a good point, that. That's a good pass.
Okay, no.
Dallow's just on the ball constantly for United, isn't he? Like, it feels like whenever I look at the game, it's just Dallow's got the ball.
He loves running behind.
He loves it. He absolutely loves it.
Do you think Luke Shaw's got much of a future?
If he stays fit this season, he'll play every week. We all like, he needs to go and we need to replace him and all that. If he somehow didn't get injured between now and June, he would play every single game. Like, he'd still be our first choice left back, I think. Do you, Ronnie?
Who?
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw. Who's that?
For a minute before, I genuinely thought you just said that and didn't know what we were on about.
Yeah.
What do you think, Scotty? Do you think, like, Luke Shaw's future at United, what does it look like for him this season at the end of the year?
I don't think he's going to stay fit long enough, really, and I don't think that we can rely on him as a left back any longer. I don't think we'll find anyone to buy him in the summer, but it's certainly a position that I'd be looking high up the transfer window to replace him with.
Yeah.
But technically, his ability is better than anything we've got. So he'd play on that logic, but I just don't think he can stay fit long enough, and therefore is a liability.
Yeah, that's probably true. What do you think?
My worry about Luke Shaw is obviously his injuries, but how long he's been injured for, and his body type.
Doesn't come back in amazing.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure the shape is going to come back.
Himself back into fitness.
I saw a little bit of a pouch when he came on for England.
A little bit.
Do you know what I mean? Kangaroo style.
That's so harsh.
Body shaming.
Do you know what I mean?
What's Ugarte been eating?
I don't know about the whole body shaming thing, man. I'm not going to get into that. But
I think when you're a professional athlete, I think body shaming kind of goes out the window, doesn't it? Because your job is to be in shape. It's not like someone walking down the street.
It literally probably. I think it's generally contractual as well. Or
if you're
not in shape as a footballer,
back overweight. There is at that level they do a lot of constant like weight and thingy checks.
Yeah, they do. And a couple of kilos either way can make a difference as well, can't it?
But like you say about his body type, I just don't think naturally he keeps in. I think it's very easy for him to come back from a long injury layoff. And be struggling for fitness for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And pick it up and then picking up a niggle, and before you know it.
Yeah, is that indicative of his personality towards the club and his position as a footballer, though? Because you see some of these footballers that, it's a career first and foremost, to earn money rather than sort of play the game. Who was it that Pep had to go with at City? Was it Calvin Phillips after that? And he was saying how much weight he'd put on and stuff.
Yeah.
And he didn't have much of a future left up there.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I think Calvin Phillips saw the sign-on fee from his City transfer land, and I think he went a little bit ham on the Deliveroos.
Got Deliveroo Premium.
Just Deliveroo Platinum.
The big conveyor belt.
The one that isn't even available to most of us. Deliveroo Diamond.
Where you can pay for, and it's just like.
Well, he was basically living in a Pizza Express. Yeah. He was allowed to live in the kitchen of a Pizza Express. His delivery was that high.
And then you go from also starting week in week out for Leeds to not starting at all.
It's not easy, is it? To be fair. And it would be
Ipswich talking about sending him back.
Yeah.
He's not playing for them either, is he?
No.
Yeah, it's weird that. Ugarte's been so
phenomenal,
good today. He's been so good. He has been really good. Just exactly what you want from him. Winning the ball back, giving it to someone else consistently. I'll name this podcast later. It says, "Is this what the Matrix feels like? What the just absolute? What's it called? Like a CGI almost creation of what the world should be like." Yeah, maybe. This is it. This is life at its best. Jason Castro says, what are your opinions on the reports that the players were unhappy with Ten Hag's discipline? How can United coach raise at and arms? I don't know what that means, sorry. When those players can't be asked. These reports always come out after a manager leaves. I won't even read too much into it. There's always going to be some players who thought that the manager was too disciplined or too soft or too harsh on the players, or that there's always things that people don't like, and you're going to hear about it when they get sacked. I read it, but I don't really pay attention to it these days.
I didn't like seeing them things on Twitter, Sancho, De Gea.
Yeah, the De Gea one was weird.
I don't want. Yeah, seems unnecessary. Like.
Yeah, it's just like quite petty, really, isn't it? That's good play there from Holland. Nice. Bruno to Xerxes. Oh!
Oh my God, that was nice.
That was a little swizzle on that, wasn't there? That was lovely. He always seems to be wearing a kit that's slightly too big for him, Xerxes. It's always like hanging off him a bit, and it's a bit like a 90.
Do you think he doesn't want it tight?
I think there could be an element of that. T-shirt in the pool style. Is that what you're getting at?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm going on like a David Goggins.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No one's safe.
No one's safe. Yes.
I'm starting coming across really harsh today, and I'm not meaning that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What? Because these guys are in much better shape than me, obviously.
Yeah. Fred says, I hope it is the Fred who used to play for United. Is Sancho on loan? I can't remember. It's a loan with an obligation to buy unless Chelsea finish 14th or below. Then they don't have to buy him. So let's hope Chelsea finish 13th. Ugarte, edge of the box, back to Mazraoui. I think Leicester last few minutes have just lost hope a bit, haven't they? Like the game's just slowed down a bit. They're sitting in. Goal! That's a good finish.
What did you say? Did I say 6-3? I wonder if...
Yeah.
Because
I said 5-1 originally, so I'm sticking with that.
I get a prize, don't
I said 5-4. Why do you get a prize?
I'm asking.
Oh, whoever gets closest.
Long way to go.
Yeah, 200 grand.
What did you say?
Whoever
What
gets
is that
closest
in?
is
What is that in?
200,000 of a currency of my choice.
I was gonna say of a currency.
Yeah.
I was gonna say some sort of currency, but I didn't want to be. Do you know what I mean? Disrespectful.
Well, you can pick the Deutschmark or something.
Yeah.
That was that. They had sort of hyperinflation,
shillings.
didn't they?
200,000 shillings.
200,000 shillings is
get hold of
worth a hell of a lot,
Deutschmark
actually.
now, don't you?
Yeah.
You can still find them.
Can you?
Some of the forums I'm involved in. Pretty
200,000
worth.
worth.
Yeah, they love them. Yeah. 200,000 of your finest Deutschmarks, please. Arkit Badjara says, what do Danes have instead of lunch? Rasmus Soylent. Now, unfortunately, that pins upon Soylent being sold in a country near you, and it isn't for us. Although it's a sort of Huel kind of nutritional powder meal in a glass type of drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a meal replacement. It's a good joke. Sorry, I had to explain it and didn't really laugh at it, but it's just because Soylent isn't really a thing here, is it? Lovely joke though. And once again, just a reminder: if you are watching on a Sky Glass and you're having any issues, just restart it, and that should fix any problems that you're having. That's from Nick Collins. Wow. Thank you again for that, Nick.
You should work on the helpline, Joe.
We should get a little chat bot going, shouldn't we? And I'm just answering questions about tech. Corner to Leicester. Luke H. Well, I better let this come in first. That's a dreadful corner. Luke H says, Shaw will be like Phil Jones running down his contract. I don't know. Luke Shaw just played in the Euros final. I think if he's given up on his career, I think that's an absolute shame. I think if United don't see him in their future, he should go somewhere else and keep playing, maybe focus on that World Cup as his, last thing kind of thing. Although he's not that old, is he? But
maybe we're talking a little bit too soon. I guess it's knowing the nature of what's happened. It's a recurrence of something from his big injury, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think he's just missed a lot of games in the last few years, hasn't he? I think he sort of adds up. But I think he'll come back this season, and it's quite possible that he sort of comes back in, settles back down, plays 35 games this season, and is here again next season, starting at left back for us.
Yeah. How many subs are allowed?
I think it's 5, but you've got to make them in 3 intervals.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think we're seeing Fletcher and Fitzgerald then, are we?
No. Well, that's all 5 now, isn't it?
Oh,
Xerxes coming off for
didn't get his goal.
Wheatley. Yeah, Luke Shaw's only played over 40 games once in the last 4 years.
Hope things doesn't follow suit.
Which is a bit of an issue.
Mason Mount.
Yeah, where's Mason Mount?
There's a couple of forgotten men, isn't there?
Where the hell is Mason Mount? He banged his head a month ago.
Joe.
And he did a picture on a post where we just lost, going, I'm alright, see you soon, with a little smile. And he hasn't seen us soon, has he? He's not seen at all. He's not even been in a squad.
Yeah,
I'd love to know what's
really
going
bizarre,
on with
isn't it?
Yeah, because unless he's got like sort of moderate to severe concussion, he'd probably be back now from a little cut on the head. He'd play 2 days later with a cap on or something.
Sure, Malacia just missing.
It's weird, isn't it? And it's weird as well how Leicester in the box here. Well done, Ugarte again, and well done there.
Nice.
Johnny Evans as usual.
Nah, he's giving it away though. Striker.
Got block.
On and behind it. Quite quick, isn't he, behind it? That's getting around his box.
What's his 40-yard dash?
I think it's 4.6. Charlie Bozza says, if you could swap any player for a new player, what swap would you make? I'd swap Anthony for Osimhen. Ronaldo. Swap him 1 for 1.
Anyone in the world?
Yeah. We have to swap a first team player, let's say that, because otherwise you're just going to swap, someone who's never going to play for the best player in the world. You have to take someone out of our first team or thereabouts for someone else.
I'd swap Anthony for.
No, you can't have Anthony. I know that
Swap
Charlie
Mason
did.
Mount for Cole Palmer.
Was you?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd say Anthony for Bakayoko from PSV.
Really?
Well, you said I couldn't have Anthony, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Surely that's
Off
a
that
bit of a
logic.
low bar, no offence. I know he's good, but you can have anyone here. You can take Haaland if you want.
No, but I don't want to do
Bakayoko.
one where it's like Rodri, Haaland, or
Why?
something. Actually, Anthony for Rodrigo from Real Madrid.
Their third best attacker. Get Vinicius in, man! Get Rodri off City! What are we doing here? Get fucking Salah in! Rodrigo, he's good!
Hesitated for a second. Then
Come on! Let's get Van Dijk off Liverpool. Fuck someone up. Who are you having, Scotty? Sorry, man.
I'd go, just thinking about the future, with the Ineos' plans,
Yeah.
I'd go Yamal for
Yeah,
Ericsson
that's not bad. It's a decent shout.
or Rafinha for Rashford.
We can't take an ex-Leeds player if we
Can't
can have
take it.
anyone on the planet.
We've had Alan
And
Smith.
also, you don't need to get rid of Rashford. Get rid of Ahmad. Why have you got rid of our best player? He's not our best player, but you know what I mean. He can be if he wants. Right, I'm going to take. Right, let's make this count. I'll give you Casemiro, but in return, you know what?
Chouameni.
I'll take Rodri. I will take Rodri.
Yeah.
That'll do me. You can have
I think if you
Casemiro
pick
for-
Chouameni, you get someone who's up there as being a top 3 DM in the world, but also Chouameni's actually shown that he's really good as a deputy centre half as well.
Yeah, he can play centre back, can't he?
Isn't it nice that the last 5 minutes of the game we can have these little conversations and not worry
It's
about
safe.
getting beat?
Yeah.
It's lovely, isn't it? I wish it could be the Carabao Cup every week. Chouameni's went under the radar as £100 million transfer, I think. No one, when you
I think
think
a lot
of
of
like,
them do these
the most
days.
Was it
expensive
100
players of all
million?
time.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Or there, it's like
Have you moved it to Euro? Changed it to
it
euros?
might be sorry, it
like
might be
Sky
100 million
Sports
euros. Apologies.
Sure, BBC the other day were talking about Guardiola's being a
Yeah, 80
incredible
million
find.
euros plus 20 in add-ons.
Wow.
Like 100 million.
So you've added the add-ons.
Well, that's what everyone does.
I don't want to do it because I complain when they do it for our.
Depends what they
transfers.
are. I need to know what they are.
I'm going to say it was 98 million. I'm going with that. Anyway,
In
it's
pa-
a lot of
what's
money.
that? But you still just left it in euros.
Yeah, 90 million euros. In pounds, what's that? About 80 million quid? 85 million quid?
With add-ons.
Yeah.
So how much is it without? Like 60.
Yeah, but how many add-ons have they paid? No
I don't
one knows.
know.
You know what I mean? I'm going to include him. Schrodinger's add-ons, mate. Paid him as far as I'm concerned. 90th minute.
Vestergaard.
He's been about for a while, hasn't he? 6'7" or one of them lot. You know, just cruising, just knocking it around a little bit.
That looks like that's a terrible football number, man.
What?
40. Just looks
Yeah.
weird.
Gross.
I think numbers other than 10 that end with a 0.
20's not bad. I think 20's okay.
Yeah.
Van Nistelrooy, innit? Not Van Nistelrooy, sorry, Van Persie. I think that looked good. Do you not like it?
I think if you got the ones look better, so like 21, 31, 41.
Any more?
So I mean
51?
61.
I've always liked 71. It's been good. The 81 as well.
81.
Nice.
I don't know about
Or you could be weird.
81's awful.
Do you reckon? Do you think? Does
No.
anyone wonder about see how Trent kept his youth academy debut number of like
first one he was given.
66?
Was it 66 or whatever?
Or is it? Yeah, he's kept it though.
Yeah. I just don't care about stuff like that. I would be the least... Because a lot of footballers are superstitious, aren't they? I would be the least superstitious footballer ever. I don't care what number I am. I don't care what boots I wear or what order I put stuff in. I don't care what I eat before a meal, a game. Before a meal, I'll eat before a meal. That's how...
Eat before.
I think Luke Shaw's out of shape. I'm eating before meals. I just don't care about anything like that. People walking around with horseshoes and clovers in their bags and all that. Did we
Can you
play
imagine that player turning up with his boots and a horseshoe?
People do that. They got horseshoes
I'm
in
just
the bag.
worried about what I'm eating before my meal.
I just want to know what the fucking pre-meal meal is. That's all I care about. Were you superstitious as a player, Ronaldo?
No, actually really wasn't.
Were some of your teammates?
Yeah, some people were.
It's quite a thing, isn't it, in
Yeah.
sport generally?
Like some people would have like one white sock, one black sock underneath. It was just weird stuff like that.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Or even like their shin pads.
What?
Like having one specific one that they've had since they were like 8 and they can't have any.
That's
other
just like the
different-
size of a
like
chicken
size of
nugget.
that. Yeah.
Just popping it in. A SIM card just underneath the sock.
Another one's Under Armour, like a thermal.
Yeah.
There's a guy in the team that wore it all year round,
Oh,
even if it was 50 degrees outside.
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Weird, isn't it, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Wonder what it is in our brain. We want there to be something else helping us out, don't
Yeah,
we?
something else in control.
There you go, full time. Manchester United 5, Leicester 2, through to the quarter-finals, or is it not yet? Right. Through to the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup. 1 game, 1 win under Ruud van Nistelrooy. Comfortable, really, in the end. Tom, quick thoughts before we do the full match review at the end?
Yeah, cup competition.
Yeah, it's nice,
I
wasn't
was
it?
happy. Yeah, it was nice after the. It's been a tough few weeks.
It has been a tough few
Yeah.
weeks. Ronaldo?
I'm just happy that I got to enjoy a full 90 minutes of football. I think the parts of the second half were shaky, but they felt like there was a little bit more of a. It's the typical manager bounce where it felt a little bit more spirited. The performance,
Yeah,
like the actions, felt a little bit more spirited, even more so than anything tactical.
Yep.
And it was just an enjoyable half. I saw players expressing themselves. I saw players looking confident. I'm hoping that once we actually get a good set of tactics implemented, players put in positions that they're best at, with that kind of energy and enthusiasm, we can actually salvage the season, because I think the players are good enough.
Yeah, me too. Scotty, thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I think Ronaldo said it right. It was a spirited performance. Not sat here too many times this season and been entertained throughout. I didn't expect us to go 4 goals up in so quick in the first half. And you know, I said 5-1 at the beginning. I thought I'm going to get pelters on social media if this goes out. And we scored 5. I mean, if this is all we see of Ruben van Nistelrooy as Manchester United manager, he'll go off to find another job and he'll be very happy about it. Don't know how much you can make between the difference with Ten Hag being there and not being there, but United are through to the quarterfinals, and from what you said, it looks like we could get a favourable round because all the other big teams are out.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got the finale of City versus Tottenham, but Tottenham's still ahead. Unfortunately, Liverpool did go through, though.
So no other big teams.
Yeah,
I
no
think
other big teams.
this could have happened
Absolutely
tonight with Ten Hag.
Yeah, it could have.
But I think with Chelsea coming up home at the weekend, I'd have just been I'd gone away from the game still feeling a bit. I've got to do this again in a couple of days, and I'm not feeling good about the next game. Whereas now I feel like we can look forward a little bit. I backed Ten Hag while he was there, but I think it is probably the right time, and can look forward a bit.
To wrap us out, I've got a little, a little Gary Neville on Match of the Day kind of sign off. Do you know where he does his big pun, like a kind of a nice little long-winded thing to camera? So I'm going to do that if people don't mind.
Go on.
Okay, all right. United through to the next. What's that? Try again. 1 game, 1 win under Ruud van Nistelrooy, then for Manchester United into the next round, being in the draw for the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. Be rude not to. See you later.